Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome today. Today will be our virtual conference, which is a very special one. Let's wait a little bit on the others to join. I've seen there are many people to join on getting online. Log in right now. Thank you for that. As you can see, our topic today is ASEAN Smart Factory Summit 2020. And there are actually, whoa, a lot of people online already. Thank you a lot. Thank you. And I have to mention, this is a very special live webinar, live conference, because we not only have our presentation, but we also have our uh, existing booth or our live main event activity main page online. I will introduce that later. Okay, this virtual conference is organized by Ringer Event, and I'm Jack. I'm one editor from Ringer Trade Media, and I'll be the host today. And I'm here to welcome all of you with all my heart. During this global pandemic, thanks to our online presentations and virtual exhibition booth, we are able to connect global business opportunities. This makes it possible for us who cannot fly by airplanes to share our brilliant ideas across borders through the Ringer online platform, and most importantly, we are all healthy and safe here. I would like to thank you to our business partner, because without them, there won't be so successful event today. I would like to thank you one by one by naming their names. First of all, TechMan Robot, a leading collaborative robot and vision technology company. Next is EMK Machinery, who designs and produces automatic bar feeders since 1961. Really great. And next, Lianjie Machinery, who has specialized in the manufacture of many different types of hydraulic presses. And last but not least, let's welcome Guangdong Metal Forming Machine Works, the largest manufacturing enterprise of forging equipment in southern China. Also, this webinar is supported by International Metalworking News of Asia and International Metalworking News of Plastics, two influential trade magazines in Southeast Asia region. Let's welcome them, and I have to say, you can visit their booth on our event main page at the exhibit hall, and you can talk to the managers there face to face, in person, or privately, and you can share a lot of ideas and change information also. Next, I would like to introduce about our event page. Since I said this is the event, online event is focused on networking. Let me introduce you. First of all, let's see. That's our main lobby. And if you can see my mouse moving, there is a lot of function you can see on the left-hand side. And here is the social media area. You can see a lot of social media from Twitter, from networking, YouTube, other kind of social media information. You can see the update latest information. And for the main part, don't forget to scroll down. There are two columns to scroll down. You can see there are a lot of announcements. And also, I have to emphasize, our networking activity here. And you can win our big prize today. I will announce later. And the right-hand part, you can see a lot of people are saying hi, greeting to each other. Please, I welcome everyone to leave your message there. Give a short self-introduction there. Who are you and who you come from? Please introduce you to all of us in our social network area. Next, I would like to introduce the other function, which is the session. And of course, you all log in with this session already. I have to emphasize that we have prepared a lot of functions there. You can see there are two live presentation room right now. One is you have to log in. The other is the live stream on YouTube, but we embed the YouTube channel here, but so you can only watch. And later, for the below space, after each session have finished presentation, we will put their playback video here, one by one, after their presentation. Hi, hello everyone. Yes, nice to meet you. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Edward. Hi, Amber. Anyway, let me move on. This one, the main event page of Exhibit Hall, also we call booth. You can see, you can go to the portal through the Exhibit Hall button. You can see those are our business partners here today. And you can visit their booth and use this red box to square. You can email them, you can go to visit the website and go to their social media functions, others. And scroll down, don't forget to get more information and watch the video or other information they prepare for you. Maybe you can download some files. And I have to say, we prepare the networking activity. One of them is downloading the files and find the main page we hidden in those files, and we will do the lucky draw. Maybe you can win the big prize later. Okay, the last but not least, the function I want to mention is the networking function. Networking function, you can see, you can go to the different column to see who are in this page right now with you. And from the left part, you can scroll down. That's everyone registered our event today. And also, there are a lot of people I know, a lot of people registered today. So you can use the filter function. After you click the filter, you can select different tags we prepare for you. You can look for business partners, delegates, organizers. We are organizers. You can contact our assistant if you have any questions. And the speakers today. If you can ask so many questions today at their sessions, they can answer you in person right away. But if you come up with other good ideas, further questions, you can leave the message there to our speakers today. They will receive your message, and you can even have a small chat online right here. And here we'll save every message of yours. And also, you can simply click the start chat to do whatever I said a while ago. Also, after you click the start chat, you can also turn on your camera to have a face-to-face chat with the person. Don't forget, I have to emphasize this. Use this red circle area to turn on your camera. Otherwise, you will be just there and staring at the really white blank. Don't forget to turn on your own camera and also give the permission of the accessible ability to your browser. There might pop up a question to ask you to give the authority. Don't forget to say yes to or allow your browser to access your camera. Okay, so as I mentioned a while ago, we are gonna have a lucky draw, right? We are going to have a lucky draw with the price of the MIT Made in Taiwan medical facial mask. And we will give a whole box of facial mask, really mail to you. Later, if you win our lucky draw, we prepare 5 boxes today for our lucky draw winners. And don't forget to participate in our networking activities, and you can have the chance to win this one. We have 2 kinds of networking activities, and if you want to look for the instruction of our networking activities, I strongly suggest you go to our lobby, scroll down. The very first top message announcement is about the instruction of our networking activity. Please join. One is talk to our exhibitors. Go to their booth, ask them the right questions, and they might give you the password. You give the password to our lucky draw assistant, you can have the chance to join our lucky draw. And secondly, which you can do later during our tea break time or during our whole session. You can try to download each files our exhibitors provide. And we hidden one message there. We hidden this picture, which is our next online virtual conference event. If you find this message, find this picture in their flyers, download PDF files, anything within it, give us the information to our lucky draw assistant. Tell them which booth you find this picture and which file you find this picture. You give these two answers to our lucky draw assistant, and you can also join our lucky draw. So don't miss the chance to win a whole box of MIT made in Taiwan medical facial mask. It's a medical one, very, very, very good quality of MIT one. Okay, it's very exciting. So let me now introduce our agenda today. To tell me more about our agenda, I have to say, because smart factories have become a hot topic in Southeast Asia already, with manufacturers realizing the importance of technology to enhance efficiency, safety, and overall competitiveness. Southeast Asian manufacturers have the potential to provide substantial and long-term economic benefits by taking advantage of this global transformation. So don't miss this trend. The future of Southeast Asia's manufacturing industry lies in embracing smarter technology and upgrading business operations. That's why today we have very interesting topics from our expert guest speakers. So let me give you a quick rundown to this event. We will begin with the event with an Asian automotive outlook brought by our keynote speaker, Mr. Titikorn. Let's read one son. Asian Manager LMC Automotive. And then for the session number 2, we will have a technical speech talk about flexible palletizing solution with collaborative robot, led by Mr. Nick Hall, sales manager, and Mr. Sean Chan, technical senior sales engineer from Techman Robot. And then the session number 3, the topic of the next session will be current challenge faced by OEMs. The speaker is from the Thai government, Ms. Sokling Polimi, executive director, acting senior executive advisor of Thailand Board of Investment. And the last session before our tea break time, which is a session number 4, followed by the session, which is another technical speech, Mr. Edward Tai, sales manager overseas from EMCA. He will talk about the topic, the rigid coverage provider for a consistent production line in automotive industry. And also, I have to announce for now, he is prepared another special gift for everybody. So please join his session and ask question to him. And then after that, after 4 seasons, we will have a tea break time for within like around 15 minutes. And I will encourage you to join our networking activities. Try to look for our clues, and you might get a chance to win the prize. And then our next half session will begin with the session number 5, another keynote speech from Mr. Sherwin C. Nons, head of corporate strategy, integrated microelectronic in company, which talk about the topic is technology of future-proof supply chains. And then followed by the number 6 session, the topic is the automotive trans-changing material analysis. Will be discussed by Mr. Mikko Jarvikivi, head of product management, Hitachi high-tech analytical science. Lastly, we will have Mr. Devadas Mr. Devadas Vimalanand, Senior Application Engineer from Magma Engineering, to give us a speech of meeting requirements, lightweight application with virtual DUI. Those are very interesting and insightful topics we're gonna have today. And then we will have a Q&A part and also the very important our lucky draw time. So that's pretty much the agenda of our today. I would like to now give you a small taste of our virtual conference today. If you are using our embedded platform, which is you are using right now, if you are only watch this video, then you can neglect this part. But I highly recommend you join our embedded platform because there are several very useful functions I would like to introduce you. One is that you can actually move around our pictures so you don't have to get blocked to the main area. So if you just watch only, because we have to show the speaker's face, so you have a corner which is blocked already by the photo. But if you join our embed platform, you can actually minimize the speaker's photo. So you can have the full screen of our presentation. And then if you join this platform, I would like to introduce, you can leave the message and the speaker can see you right away and they can actually answer all the questions you ask to them. Also, not only just simply leave the message, they can emphasize, they can put your question in the center area to have everybody's focus to discuss your own question. That's really good. And also, you can use the translation function there. You can see there's a gear button. Use the translation function to translate other attendees' questions if not in your local language. You can choose any local language from the system. They can change every text directly, automatically to you. Okay, now let me finish my opening of introduction. But lastly, I would like to remind you that ask more questions to our speakers. They are really happy and willing to answer all the questions to you. And this is a really treacherous question, really treacherous time. You can ask the question and they will answer you right directly in person, face to face. Okay. Now let's move on to our presentation. The first half of our presentation, firstly, will be our Mr. Titikon Latsrunson. So let's welcome. Hi, Titisan. That's okay. Yeah, let's wait a little bit for him.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Titikon from LMC Automotive. Today, I would like to share the ASEAN Automotive Market Outlook. Firstly, I would like to introduce our company. LMC Automotive is a global company. Our head office is in Oxford, UK, and the Bangkok office is the regional office for the Asia Pacific. What we do, we are the automotive market intelligence. We do the sales and production forecast. Also, we have a team to follow up the technology and forecast the electric vehicle. So in ASEAN region, we cover 5 countries: Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam, and Philippines. So in the slide presentation, when I talk about the ASEAN, it's these 5 countries. Also, the number in our presentation is cover only the light vehicle that GVW less than 6 tons, because this one is a majority and more the personal usage and small business. Because of the medium and heavy bus and truck, we use a different methodology. So in this slide presentation, so I just want to remind that the number is only the light vehicle. So I would like to show you the structure of the ASEAN automotive market. As you can see in this slide presentation, Indonesia and Malaysia and Thailand. Indonesia and Thailand are the largest market in ASEAN region. Last year, Thailand and Indonesia sales around 1 million units in each market, and Malaysia sales last year around 600,000 units. However, if we separate by category, for the first segment, the passenger vehicle, Indonesia is the largest market. But if you look into the detail between the market size of Thailand and Malaysia for the passenger vehicle sales were in the same level in 2018 and 19. Next, for the light commercial vehicle, Thailand is the largest one because, as you know, that the Thailand is a pickup truck market. Around half of the Thai sales are pickup truck because of the government policy to distort market and the consumer preference. This slide shows you the structure of ASEAN production. Thailand and Indonesia account around 80% of total ASEAN production last year. As you can see here, Thailand account around half of the market, half of production last year, and Indonesia account around 30% of total ASEAN production last year. So these two countries are production base in ASEAN. Let's see in detail in Thailand. You can see in this slide that in this portion is the production of pickup trucks in Thailand, which account to 25% of total ASEAN production last year. And in this portion is the production of subcompact car in Thailand, which account to 11% of total ASEAN production last year. So in Thailand, we have two key products, pickup truck and subcompact car. I will talk in detail about the subcompact car, but now I would like to tell you that the production of the subcompact car in Thailand was driven by the Thai Eco Car program. For the Indonesia, you can see here in this portion is the production of MPV in Indonesia, which account around 14% of total ASEAN production last year. And this portion is the production of SUV in Indonesia, which account around 6% of total ASEAN production last year. So Indonesia also have two key products, MPV and SUV. So what does it mean for last two slides? It means that the car maker already allocate which country to produce which product. It can be said that Thailand is the production base for the pickup truck and subcompact car. Indonesia is the production base for the MPV and SUV. And as many people always ask me that will Thailand lose the production volume to Indonesia? Yes, Thailand will, but we will lose the production of the SUV segment to Indonesia. And as you know that the SUV gain more popularity in ASEAN market and also in the global market. So we expect that Thailand will lose the production volume of SUV to Indonesia. This slide shows you the forecast. We forecast that last year total ASEAN sales is around 3.3 million. This year we forecast the sales drop to 2.2 million this year, of course, because of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, we expect that the sales will gradually increase and will reach the 3 million units in next 2 years in 2022. However, this based on assumption that no second wave and no lockdown. For the production, we also expect that last year the total production in ASEAN is around 4.1 million. this year we expect that the production will drop to 2.7. And as you can see in this slide, the production volume in ASEAN is larger than sales volume. So it means that ASEAN have the export to the global market, in particular Thailand. In particular from Thailand, so export from Thailand. So the ASEAN production impact from weak domestic sale and also the weak export. So that's why we expect that we expect that both sale and production in this year will lower than 2010. So it means that sales and production will scale back 10 years. Also in next year you can see that we expect that sale will jump to 2.7 and the production will jump to 3.6. It seems that a big jump, but if you compare to the 2017, the production and sales volume next year still lower than 2017. Next, I will show you the detail of Thai automotive market. You can see that, you can see that in 2012 and 13, these 2 years, the sale volume were 2.7 million, which equal to the sale volume in this 4 years. Because of the government first car buyer scheme, if you are the first car buyer, you can get the tax rebate. And in Thailand, when you buy the car, the driving license is not required. You can buy the car without driving license. So many families, including my family, purchase the car by using my parent name, by using our parent name, or other people in the family. Let's say I have 2 cars. I have 1 car, but my wife, she cannot drive a car. She don't have a car before. So we can get the benefit by using I can get the benefit by using my wife's name because she is the first car buyer. So that is a tricky point. So the sale volume jumped to 1.4 and 1.3 in 2012 and 13. And then many people say that the market decline, sales decline, but actually it just back to the normalized before the government announced the first car buyer scheme. Okay, and as you can see that in the 2016 overall market dropped by 4%, but actually we saw some positive side. Sale in the first quarter to the third quarter increased around 0.6%, but sale in the last quarter dropped by 14% because of King Rama IX passed away, and the Thai people not in the mood to buy the car, and the car maker postponed to launch the new car. Then sales increased by 14% in 2017 and increased by 20% in 2018. So the reason behind the double-digit growth was the result of the first car buyer scheme. One condition of the first car buyer scheme is you cannot sell the car within 5 years. So it means that you have to hold the car. You have to be the owner for 5 years, and then you can sell the car. Let's say if I buy the car under the first car buyer scheme this year, I can sell this car in 2017. So I bought the car this year, first year, second year, third year, fourth year, and fifth year. So I can sell the car this year. If I bought the car this year, I can sell this car in 2018. So I buy this year, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. So we can say that in 2017 and 18, sales were driven by the replacement demand under the first car buyer scheme. And the replacement demands under the first car buyer scheme began to tail off in 2019 and also the weak economy. So last year, Thailand sales dropped around 3%. This year, we forecast Thai market will be around 0.7 million or 700,000 units this year because of the COVID 2019 pandemic in the country and slowing economy and weak export. Next, for the production, firstly, I would like to show you, because the production we have a production for the domestic sale and production for the export. As you can see in this slide, the production for the export are higher than the production for the domestic, or it can be said that half of Thai production is for the export and half of production is for the domestic. So the Thai production impact by the weak domestic sale and also the weak export. However, we expect that the Thai volume partially supported by the new models such as the Toyota Corolla Cross, Nissan Kicks, and all new Nissan Almera and all new Nissan and all new Honda Jazz. All new Honda City. So, but one thing that to show you, you can see that in 2011, Thai export volume is around 0.7 million units, and then the export during 2012 to 2019, the Thai export volume never lower than 1 million. Why Thailand can increase or boost the export volume? Because of the Thailand Eco Car program. So I will show you the structure of Thai export. As you know that pickup truck is a Thai key product and the Thai product champion. But for the export in 2010, the export of pickup truck were 0.6 million. And if you can see here that in 2016 to 2019, the export of pickup truck is flat. It's still like it's never higher than, it's around 0.6 million. But the main growth driver of Thai export come from the passenger vehicle. You can see that in 2010, the export of the passenger vehicle is around 0.3 million. But in last year, the export of passenger vehicle is around 0.46 million or around half million. Why? Because of the one condition of Thai Eco Car program. The car maker who join the program have to produce 100,000 units a year as the minimum production requirement. So there are 6 brands who join the program. So it's 6 brands, it means 600,000 units. Thai market size around 1 million. Half of them is a pickup truck, half of them is passenger vehicle. So the automaker cannot achieve the target by rely on the domestic sale. So they have to export to reach the minimum production requirement. So it can say that the Thai Eco Car program is the policy to promote and create the new product champion. So next I will show you the Indonesia. Last year, Indonesia sales dropped by 10% because of the political protests and the weak economy. This year, we forecast that the Indonesia will drop to 0.5 million units. And also we expect that the Indonesia sale will fall below 1 million from 2019 to 2025. Why? Thailand have a Thai Eco Car program. It is subcompact car. Indonesia also have a low-cost green car, or we call LCGC. This policy create the new segment. LCGC is the mini car, the cheap price and more affordable, and the main buyer is the low income. So after the Indonesia launched the LCGC program and LCGC model, the LCGC became the key segment for the Indonesia sale. You can see that the LCGC account around 22% of Indonesia sales. So as I mentioned, LCGC, the main buyer is the low income. So the COVID-19 crisis strongly impact on the lower income, the increasing of the unemployment. So you can see that the sales of LCGC in the first half this year dropped to 55,000 units. So it's been that the backbone of the Indonesia get strongly impact from the crisis. Okay, as I mentioned before that Thailand Eco Car program is the export-driven policy, but LCGC is a mini car. It's suitable for the emerging market, and the emerging market normally have a production plan. Let's say Indonesia, let's say India, Brazil, Thailand. We also have the production plan. So the export market for the mini car is very limited. So they face the problem. So as you can see that the production for the export in Indonesia is very low. It account only around 20% of total production when you compare to Thailand. Half of production is for the export. But you can see that the export of Indonesia in 2017 is around 0.23, and then it continued to increase to 0.33 million last year because of the new production plan of Mitsubishi, and Mitsubishi start to export the Expander to the global market. So it can be said that Mitsubishi Expander was the main growth driver in the past few years. So, and you can see that most of the production in Indonesia is for the domestic sale, and Indonesia do not have the policy to drive the export volume, unlike Thailand. However, as I mentioned, Indonesia is the largest for the passenger vehicle, so we expect that the new investment from the car maker, let's say Hyundai, will start the new production plant in 2021 next year. Next, for the Malaysia, the production volume in Indonesia and Thailand larger than sales, but Malaysia, the production volume are lower than the domestic sale, and we think that the Indonesia and we think that Malaysia will struggle to increase the export volume because of the national brand policy. As you can see here that the national brand dominate the market, account around 60% of total sale and production. However, the Perodua model are based on Daihatsu model. Proton model now based on Geely model. So it means that if they want to export, they have to ask allowance and they have to negotiate with their partner. Let's say Proton, now they based on the Geely model, right? Geely also enter into the Philippine market under the Geely brand, not the Proton brand. So they will face the problem to increase the export volume. And also for the non-national brand, you can see that last year the sale of non-national brand is around 0.3 million. So Thailand and Indonesia do not have the national brand. So let's say that Thailand and Indonesia, the market size is around 1 million. So the non-national brand will face the problem. They cannot reach the economy of scale. So they cannot export to because of the cost of production. Next, for the last slide, what we do expect? We expect that the increasing demand for the personal vehicle in ASEAN market, but with the weak economy and increasing of the unemployment, we expect that some consumer will purchase the used car or two-wheeler instead. Also, we expect the protectionism in the ASEAN region. Let's say Vietnam and Malaysia already announced the temporary tax cut for the local produce model to support the local production. Also, the last one, we expect that to see the negotiation between the investor or car maker with to the government because of pre-COVID. They may be forecast like 100,000 units, but after COVID, the demand is declined, so they have to renegotiate about to reduce the production volume or the investment plan. Also, if you never exit in the ASEAN market or we think that it's the right time to negotiate with the government to get more additional incentive because all the government want the investment right now. So that's all my presentation. If you have any question, please feel free to send email to me in my first slide. I have my email address, or you can send to our company address, email address. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you.
Isn't it? Now I've seen there's several questions there, and I'm looking forward for more questions. But anyway, let me welcome our speakers to get online. Unicorn, I'm now making you as a presenter now. Try to open your camera and microphone, and you can talk to me. I've seen that there are two questions there from Annie and Jenny. Which one question you would like to answer first?
Okay, so I will go with this one. Sorry.
You can pick anyone, and I will swipe to this one. You would like to answer the Jenny's question first. Jenny, listen well. Now you have the floor.
Actually, we think that we expect to see the sales of the Chinese brand to increase in ASEAN market. But we, in the longer term, we still think the Japanese OEM will dominate the market because of the Japanese OEM, let's say like a Toyota or Honda, they has been in ASEAN market for more than 50 years, more than 40 years. In Thailand, it's allowed 50 years. So, but the Chinese brand just entered into the ASEAN market, let's say around 5 years. So because of when you buy the car, you have to consider about the reputation, the after sale market. So we think that the Chinese brand sales will continue to increase in ASEAN market, but the market still dominated by the Japanese brand. Okay, so I hope that you. And another thing for the Chinese brand, because right now they are in Thailand only the MG, but still have only the NG that is a Chinese brand in Thailand, but it will have another brand will enter Thailand this year. Also in Indonesia have only two brands, let's say Wuling and Dongfeng. So compared to Japanese OEM, they have a lot of Japanese OEM, more than 5 brands in the market. Okay.
I see. Jenny, I hope that answered your question. Yeah, it's about Chinese brand, right? Chinese is really effective, influential in the global world right now. Okay, what about the Emmy's question? Diddy Corn, you would like to answer that?
Yep, sure.
Yes, let me publish that for you. Oh,
okay.
From Annie, I mean not Annie or Emma. I wonder how to pronounce your name, but really great question. Diddy Corn, can you answer that now?
Actually, we in the longer term, we still think that Thailand will be the largest production base in ASEAN because, as I mentioned, that Thailand we have a policy to boost the export, but in Indonesia we still right now they do not have the policy to boost the export. Then, as you can see, the main production in Indonesia is for the domestic sale. Also, I think I can answer another question about the Hyundai plant because another one asked me about what do you think about the Hyundai plant? So in Indonesia, let's see, can I move to other question? Okay. Also, as I think the Hyundai plant in Indonesia will be the production base in the ASEAN, and as I know that the Hyundai will use Indonesia for the domestic sale and export to ASEAN market and to the Australia Oceania. So that is another main growth driver for Indonesia production in the near term. Okay, but I think that they will because of but as I know, Hyundai will lead strategy in Thailand market, and they will more active and more aggressive in Thailand in near term.
I see.
Yep.
So thank you for your time. And I believe that there are several still questions you want to ask our speaker, Titicorn. You can find his private message there on our main event, and welcome to leave a message to them, right, Titicorn?
Sure.
Yeah, try to receive this message there. And also everybody, including you, Titicorn, you can go to our page and try to browse any booth you want, any information you can get. Okay, Titicorn, thank you for your presentation. Bye-bye. Goodbye.
Bye.
So, hi, Titicorn. Thank you. Thank you a lot. And let's welcome to our next speaker. Our next speaker is from session number 2, technical speaker from Mr. Nico Hall, sales managers, and also Mr. Sean Chan, a technical senior sales engineer, both of them from TechMan Robot. Let's welcome them.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Nick from TechMan Robot. I'm now taking care of Southeast Asia market. Today, our topic is flexible palletizing solutions with collaborative robots. My colleague Sean, who's the engineer of our Southeast Asia team, will also present for some real demonstration for you today. This is the speaker's introduction. And next, let me read out the agenda for today's webinar. First, we will start from TechMan Robot introduction. We'll give you a brief idea that's why choosing TechMan Robots. Secondly, automation with cobots. We will give you the concept of cobots and why there are more and more companies they choose changing their production line from traditional industrial robots to collaborative robots. Next, TM Robot series. What's the biggest difference between TM Cobot and other cobot brands? Next, cobot application, and at last, I will introduce TechMan's sales channel all around the world. Later after my portion, my colleague Sean will give you introduction of TM palletizing operator and show you some real demonstration. So let's start it. First, TechMan Robot introduction. So now you can see around the world, people all talking about automation, Industry 4.0, but there are still many gaps between human and robots, causing by operating difficulties, high threshold of implementation, and safety. So here we come, TechMan Robots. Our mission is like building up a bridge to connect human and robots to provide a wide diversity of automation solution for our user and help them close the gap and solve problems. And this is TechMan Robots company introduction. We are officially established in 2016. And before that, we have started many testing and improve our robots in our mother company group, Quanta Group. Quanta Group, many people might not heard this company before. Quanta Computer is one of the biggest OEM manufacturer of notebook in the world. So, and our global sites headquarters were located in Taoyuan, Taiwan, and we have branch in Busan, Korea, Shanghai, Shenzhen, China, and Netherlands. And in 2019, we are ranked number 2 worldwide cobots market share. And you can see our global sales region from Asia to Europe to America and to Southeast Asia. We all have our sales channel. This is the worldwide market share in 2018. You can see that Techman robots, we have 13% of the market share of the all collaborative robots supply global shipment. And these are the awards we have won, like Red Dot Award and Design Award 2018 and Taiwan Excellence. So, and you can see Techman robots, we have very smooth outline. Second, let's move on to the automation with cobots. What is cobot? I think most of you have heard of industrial robots before, but collaborative robots, what is the biggest difference? The biggest difference between cobots and industrial robots is the safety. Normally, if you want to install industrial robots in your production line, you need to set up a very big area to use the fence cover industrial robots working environment. This will occupy many factory space in your factory. So collaborative robots, once it hits human labor, it will start immediately. This proves its safety. So we can let collaborative robots to work with human labor in the same working environment. This can save many factory space. Also, this is safe for the human. Also, Techman cobots, we have the vision, so we make it more flexible. We can change from this production line to another production line in a very short time. And we are easier to use, repair, and do the maintenance. And this is the global rising trend of cobot integration. You can see according to this third-party forecast, we will see a 20 to 30% year-over-year growth in the next 7 years. And in 2027, the shipment number will reach around 200,000 units per year. And Asia, in the right part of the chart, you can see Asia is still the biggest factory concentrated, the largest demand area of the robots and cobots. So this is Techman robots, our design core concept. We call it triple S. So how we come up with these three concepts? It's just like, you can see the picture, it's like a gear drive. As I mentioned, our purpose is to close the gap between human and robot. So here comes the first concept, smart. We add an I, we add a built-in vision to Techman robots, make it more flexible and can work smarter. Second, we make it simple. We build a simple user interface, which can let a labor without any experience in using robots before, he can learn how to use it, Techman robots, in a very short time. And the last one, I think this is the most important one, the safety. We have passed the safety certificate. So no worry to use it in your production line in your factory. The third part is TM Robot Series. Let me introduce it. Techman, we have actually two series. The first is our regular payload, TM5700 and TM5900. TM5700, we have the payload is 6 kilograms, and the reach is 700 millimeter. For TM5900, the payload is 4 kilograms, and the reach is 900 millimeters. These are recommended for electronics, semiconductors, and some food manufacturing industry. And this is our medium heavy payload series, TN12 and TN14. In TN12, the payload is 12 kilograms and the reach is 1.3 meter reach. For TN14, the payload is higher, 14 kilograms. The reach is slightly shorter, it's a 1.1 meter reach. This is recommended in some industry like metal, which doing the machine tending, which need the higher and longer reach. And this is the TN Robot Mobile series. We have this series. Why we create this series? Because normally, if you want to integrate robots with AGV, auto-guided vehicles, you need to integrate with an extra converter to change the power supply from AC power supply to DC power supply. This converter will cost you extra cost, and also it will take too much space in the AGV. So with TM M series, mobile series, you don't need to spend extra money and waste extra space in your AGV. You just buy it and integrate it with your AGV in a very short time. And this is our safety. We have passed the ISO certificate 10218-1 and also ISO TS 15066. This is for the collaborative robot. So once the human labor it hits the robot, it will start immediately. And also you can set the force of the what's the force you want to sense when a human hits the robot, and it will stop. And this is for our very user-friendly user interface. You can see in the picture, the left part is our function icon. So it's very direct. You just pull the function icon, which function you need. You just pull it in the right part and do the programming to make a flow, and you finish the program. These are very user-friendly, and I think, I mean, in our experience, if you don't have any experience using robots before, you only need to spend 1 day in learning how to learn to do the basic programming of TechMan robots. And next is our biggest different part. We have the built-in vision. What we can use it to do. We can use our built-in vision to do the calibration and doing some AOI, conveyor tracking, this kind of function. And this is TM landmark. We can use it to do the quick coordination. So how to do it? Because let me introduce. Normally, robots, we will use its joint one as the robot base. So means the relative position between robots and the object you want to pick and the place you want to place, it will change while you change the robot or change the tray. But with TM landmark, we just put the landmark beside the tray, and every time we use our built-in vision to scan the landmark, then we can check the relative position between our robot and the object we want to pick up, and also the tray's position. So this can help us in the changing production line, very flexible. And these are some various functions of our vision. You can see the left part is our standard function. We have the item detection, image enhancement, and also we can use it to read the barcode, QR code, doing color identification. Also in the right part is some optional function. We can use it to doing some OCR, number OCR, or measurement, this kind of function. And this is TM AI Plus. This is our new function is still in progress. What is TM AI Plus? The idea is we use TechMan Robot's built-in vision to collect the image data, and we import these image data to the server to do the training. And after the training server, it made the model, and we import this model back to the robot, and our robots can learn which the robots are able to learn which is the object it needs to pick up, and it should not be picked up. And this one is for the TM plug and play. The right part is those gripper brands or other brand we have cooperated. So using their grippers is a very simple. You just need to buy their grippers, plug in with TechMan robots, and go to TechMan website to download the software package, import it into the robot, and you are able to use it in a very short time. And next, let's welcome my colleague Sean to give you some introduction of palletizing operator. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Sean, in charge of Southeast Asia market as Field Application Engineer. Today, I will present palletizing operator on Southeast Asia webinar streaming. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sean. I'm in charge of Southeast Asia market as Field Application Engineer. Today, I will present palletizing operator on Southeast Asia webinar streaming. And here, we will discuss TM palletizing operator introduction, TM palletizing operator overview, TM palletizing operator parts, application-based software, safety arrangement example. Okay, first, why we use palletizing operator? TM palletizing operator is the best solution for cartons pick and place in fastest and simplest way. Usually, TM palletizing operator is for food and beverage and domestic industry to replace operator for further benefit. Because we have a built-in vision. Even the cartons is not fixed, it's in different angle. But the vision still can compensate the coordinate system. So the cartons in different angle, still the TM palletizing operator can do pick and place on the pallet. Users are able to finish project setting immediately. In all-in-one application-based TechMan robot cells, and with application-based software, you can easily finish all setting in the fastest way. And about TM palletizing operator overview. TM palletizing operator has an excellent automatic palletizing solution advantages, such as speed can up to 7 boxes per minute. The pallet weight can reach 10 kilograms. Safety is particularly important, which is TM very emphasized about this. And this palletizing operator has 16 system level safety certifications. As a result, addition to robot, it also passed safety certification ISO 10218-2 with the peripheral environmental equipment such as a LiDAR. About TM palletizing operator parts. Here, palletizing solution got lifting pillar height, which is up to 500 millimeters. The speed is up to 7 boxes per minute. And built-in safety controller, it also partially passed Cat 3. And built-in vision system, like I mentioned, it can compensate the cartons in different angles. An adjustable flexible gripper. You can determine the gripper size you want. And also, you can change the gripper that you created. And the maximum payload up to 10 kilograms. And touch pendant included. So you don't need to use monitor and the keyboard again. And the touch pendant also passed the safety certifications. And we also have sensor and indication light for pallet detection. For example, if the pallet is moved out from the palletizing operator, the indication light will turn to red, and the whole project will pause. But if you put the pallet back to palletizing operator again, the indication light will turn to green. And you can continue to play the project. No need to start over again. Application-based software. TM also created TM Studio for palletizing wizard, which can layout setup and capable to import into robot system. So when you finish the layout setting in TM Studio, palletizing wizard, you will get a TXT file. Then you can directly import into TM palletizing operator. And you just play run, then you can play the project immediately. And there are only 5 steps to layout setup. Step 1, setting box size. You can set in the default box size, and also you can customize the box size which users want. Step 2, set the pallet. You can set no matter in UK pallet, US pallet, Europe pallet. Also, you can determine customized pallet and save it for further using as you want. Step 3, create pallet layers. You can determine how many layers of cartons on pallet. Step 4, create palletizing sequence. You can determine the orders. You can determine how palletizing to put the cartons on the pallet. Step 5, palletizing simulations. From the simulation, you can also know the generate point, you can know the cycle time, you can know the whole palletizing progress. As a result, users are able to optimize customizable boxes, pallet size, generate point, custom box arrangement and sequence, palletizing simulations, and collision detection, cycle time estimation, and palletizing progress. And furthermore, about application-based software, we also enable user easily program in a software package for TM flow. We call it palletizing component. So user no need to programming again, because we already pack and back in the component. User just drag the component from the icons page to the TM flow. Then you only need to finish the setting variables, then done. You can just play the project immediately. So there's no need for user to do further programming. The main function, including such as calibration of pillar, so you can calibrate the pillar height and to know the voltage at first, to initialize the pillar. And second, main function based on file generated from TM Studio palletizing wizard and setting for the cell, which can flexibility for functional expansion by users. And also you can change your customize your gripper. You can change your gripper into hold the progress, and which the project can finish easily. About safety arrangement example. For the safety part, TM palletizing operator is able to easily coordinate with LiDAR to set the safety range. By using our safety function, it can not only stop when people step in the safety range, but also enter collaborative mode, which allow project continue to operate at a speed in safety regulations. This is very easy and the fastest way to enhance more flexibility in the safety specifications. So you can set the safety guard space and safety guard pause and safety guard collaborative mode. Thank you very much. This is palletizing operator.
Hello, this is Nick. So in the last part, let me introduce about TechMan's sales channel and our distributor all around the world. And you can see now in TechMan headquarters in Taiwan, we have 6 Taiwan distributors. In Southeast Asia, we have 16 distributors now. Japan, we have 3. Korea, we have 4 distributors and 1 TechMan branch office there. In China, we have 25 China distributors and 1 TechMan subsidiary, 2 TechMan branch office there. In Europe, we have 24 Europe distributors and 1 TechMan branch office in Netherlands. In America, North and South America, we have 10 distributors now. So you can see now we have more than 60 distributors all around the world. And in Southeast Asia region, no matter in Vietnam, in Thailand, Singapore, Australia, India, Philippines, and Malaysia. Each of the country, we have at least 1 to 2 distributors which can provide you a thorough service. So if you have any question, please contact us directly, or you can also find our distributors information on TechMan Robots website. And this is our presentation today. Thank you very much for your attention. And later we have the Q&A time. So if you have any question, please just ask us directly. We will reply you in very soon.
Robot that much. Let's once again applause to Mr. Nick Hall and Mr. Shang Chan. However, because they informed me that they have another fixed schedule to meet, I will send them the questions asked in the chat room, or you can just simply ask their questions later directly by yourself to them, and they, as they just promised later a while ago, they will answer all the questions. Now, let's welcome to our next sessions. Our next speaker is Miss Songling Polyme, and let me welcome her presentation. And later on, I want to remind everybody we are gonna have a three-person, a small panel discussion. We invite our industrial editor Catherine to join our Q&A part. And once again, for the event reminder, I would like to invite all of you to make have a little notice on the main page. On the right hand upper part, what did I say? Upper right part, there's a tingle bell button, right? That's your notification. So please pay attention to that notification, because we are having a very big virtual online event conference, and there are people coming by, coming off. So please pay attention if they are sending you a message there. And also from our organizer, we will send you also the message there. So please don't miss up those messages. Go check them. And okay, next, let's welcome our Miss Songling Polyme from Executive Director, Acting Senior Executive Advisor from Thailand Board of Investment. Let's welcome her.
Good afternoon, all participants. First of all, let me thank you, Ringgear Trade Media and Partners, our organizer today. And let me introduce myself first. I am Sonkin Poimi, the Director of Industrial Linkage Development Division of BOI, which has the responsibility to link the buyer and the seller in many industries. For example, automotive industry, electronic industry, and it is my pleasure today to talk on Thailand automotive OEM challenges and share to other countries. Actually, Thailand faces many challenges because of the current disruption of automotive industry is mostly on technology, but Thai OEM doesn't have their own technology, and some still utilize traditional technology and management. Let me start with the global trend in order to see what's going on in the automotive world that may have an impact on automotive OEM. The vehicle production now is moving to electric and smart vehicle because of the more concern on environment and safety issues. It leads to an increase in environmental regulation and safety standard. So OEM will have to begin to build cleaner and safer auto parts for electric vehicles that emit very low levels of pollution, and to smart vehicles that connected with outside world, like access to internet and multimedia services during the journey. Before COVID-19, automotive supply chain has faced the disruption of technology and need to change to the possible process of production, logistics, and inventory handling. And since the outbreak of COVID-19, it is another shock that forced the automotive industry to reconsider its business. Just-in-time production, extensive international network, and slight inventory become a factor that makes the supply chain vulnerable to disruption. The outbreak of COVID-19 also forces most of assembly of all OEM in the world to shut down and many logistic routes cancelled. The supply chain in the automotive industry will take time to recover, and the recovery will come with more complexity and the cost intensiveness. Moreover, the trend to decrease the dependence on one source of part will become more prominent. The move to more flexible production and supply chain is necessary. This is the trend of the automotive industry in the supply chain. Also, the utilization of digital industry. The utilization of digital technology is more and more important. So the OEM need to change and adopt the digital technology in their production, in their management, and in their logistics. So let me move to the current situation of OEM automotive in Thailand in order to see its productivity, efficiency, and competitiveness among these trends. If you look at the history of Thai automotive industry, we have a long history of development, and now we become the top of Asia. When it comes to production, Thailand is the leading production in ASEAN and the 11th largest producer in the world. Thailand also always has the product champion, which responds to the global trend. Then now we are trying to accelerate the electric vehicle and another next generation car in the country. if you look at the competitiveness in ASEAN, Thailand are among the top 3 players in ASEAN. Also, the production of auto parts in Thailand now mostly used for domestic production. But besides domestic production, we also can export around 35 to 40% of auto parts to other parts of the world. The supporting industry in Thailand is strong, and the players in supporting industry are abundant, including producers in high technology auto parts. As I showed you earlier, the development of the automotive industry in Thailand, we have many product champions, and now the trend of electric vehicle is become more and more in the global world. So Thailand also has the aim or the policies to develop the EV production in Thailand. We want to be the EV hub in the ASEAN in the next 5 years, and also we want to be the major producer of electric vehicle in the year 2030 with the production of more than 700,000 units. Why we said that we can be the hub of EV production? Because there are many players, many companies applying for investment promotion and is ready to produce the EV in Thailand. Even though Thailand automotive industry is competitive, supporting industry in Thailand is strong, but the global trend in technology, supply chain management, trade barrier, regulation, and uncontrolled factor forces Thailand to reconsider seriously of the challenges to sustain the competitiveness in the long term. What is that or those challenges? The first challenges is environmental impact and safety standard. The OEM need to build the cleaner and safer auto part to meet the standard. So as a result, the auto part production will come with higher cost with more than $2,000 if comparing to the cost in 2020. The second challenge is about the shifting industry to be more EV production. Some parts are no longer used. OEM need to consider positioning themselves in the new area, like designing or manufacturing other parts such as electric motor, battery packaging, or electronic components. Another challenge is about utilizing the digital technology in production, such as Internet of Things, 3D printing, automation, and artificial intelligence in their production line. OEM should adopt this technology in their production to increase competitiveness and maintain their business. If you consider the structure of the market of Thai OEM, it shows that more than 60% is for domestic sale, but we still, have some that we can export. And our major partner or trader is China and USA. Recently, there's an implication of trade war on automotive industry. So the OEM of Thai automotive industry should not ignore this implication because the trade war between China and USA still continue and it may be more serious. So they should consider to control or protect their supply chain, not to stop their supply chain from the trade war. The implication of COVID-19 also is another challenge to automotive OEM in Thailand, because during COVID-19, there's a shutdown of manufacturing. Also, the supply chain has stopped. The sales of vehicles is dropping very fast. And the cash flow of the company, the Thai OEM and the OEM company also has a problem. So, and the COVID is still with us for a long time. So we have to reconsider how to control or solve this problem just to maintain our production and the business. And there's also another factor in automotive sector. It is the utilization of robotics and automation in Thai OEM, because the rising wage of the labor cost and also the shortage of labor. So the utilization of automation and robotics should be another good option to solve this problem. If you talk about the cost of production in automotive industry in Thailand comparing to other ASEAN countries, even though Thailand is competitive in terms of productivity, localization, investment environment, but the cost and R&D in Thailand still very few. So we have to reconsider how to keep competitiveness and control the cost of production and invest more on the R&D activity. So now let me move to how Thailand OEM adapt to those challenges. Digital transformation is a good option because now less than 20% of automotive industry utilize digital technology in their production. So they still have room to develop more in digital technology. Automation also is another choice for improve the production and productivity of automotive OEM of Thailand. If you compare Thailand with other countries, you will see that Thailand still utilize robotics and automation less than the average of the world. Investment in R&D in Thailand is less for long time. But in the last 5 years, it shows the trend of R&D spending in automotive sector. And if you would like to be, or Thai OEM would like to be more competitive, you have to consider R&D investment in order to have the innovative and high technology to produce the part to respond to the need of the market. The Thai government also has put an action to respond to these challenges to help the company and to keep Thailand competitiveness. For example, Thailand 4.0 policy has put the next generation automotive is one of the target industry to be promoted. And also we developed the Eastern Economic Corridor as a place to welcome investment in the next generation automotive. The Eastern Economic Corridor is the project to develop advanced infrastructure and facility and also other facility to support the investment and high investment in automotive sector and other advanced technology industry. Investment promotion policies also is put to welcome more investment and to promote the investment in the electric vehicle. The Thailand Board of Investment has a scheme to promote electric vehicle, also the electric vehicle part and the battery charging station. And these part and these activity are eligible for more incentive if comparing to other normal parts, other activity or other business. Besides the investment promotion policies, other government measures also has to support the infrastructure development for the EV, stimulate the demand and stimulate the production or supply side of the EV production. This is all the measure that the Thai government is trying to develop the EV production in Thailand. But if you consider clearly, the EV production or EV industry development in Thailand has a long way to go. So the Thai OEM has to be more careful, just to respond to this trend, global trend, also production in Thailand. So this is all the challenges that Thai OEM are facing. I hope this can share the information to OEM in other countries. Thank you very much.
Let us wait until a little bit for them to try to log in. But right now, I would like to say, here, look at this. This is a pack of facial masks made in Taiwan. And we are gonna have a lucky draw during our tea break time. So don't forget, try to get your chance, to seize your chance to join our lucky draw and to win a pack of our facial masks made in Taiwan, medical facial mask. Okay. So as I said, please pay attention to our the tingle bell notification if there are any which means people are looking for you. Try to network contact you. Let's welcome Catherine. Catherine, could you please try to get online? And also let's welcome Titicorn, Sunkling, Mr. Sunkling, to come back. Sunkling, can you try to turn on your camera? And Catherine also. Hi, who's first? Hi, Sunkling. You are even faster than Catherine. Hi, Sunkling. Nice presentation.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we can hear your voice loud and clear.
All right. Okay. So
Catherine, you have the floor, and you have some questions to ask ask the Miss Sunkling, right?
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Catherine here. Good afternoon. Yes. Miss Songkleen, how are
Yes.
you? So
Yeah,
you can hear me? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Great. Yes. So I have a few questions for you. I know that many industries are heavily affected by this COVID-19 pandemic. And I believe that Thailand's automotive OEM is also experiencing the impact of this pandemic. Now, we want to know, what is the government doing to support the OEMs in mitigating such problems?
Okay, thank you for your questions. First, I would come back to the problem of the COVID-19 to the OEM industry in Thailand. And the first one is, as I mentioned in my presentation, is the shrinking of the market. I think it's not only in Thailand, but it's all over the world. The market of automotive industry is shrinking very much during COVID-19. Why? Because nobody go out and nobody move. And also there's a shutdown of the production. And also when the production shut down, the supply chain also has a problem. So all of this is a problem of COVID-19 in Thailand and all over the world. So the assistance or the measure, the support of the government, of the Thai government that try to help the OEM in Thailand, I will, divide it into three groups, three areas. The first area is when they don't have the sales, this means the cash flow, the revenue, they would not get. So this means the government trying to help them in the financial support. But most of the assistance prioritize for the SME of Thailand because this is the group that is vulnerable to the COVID-19. So there's a financial support like low interest rate and what extensions of the payment, any payment leasing or whatever. This is all the Thai government, and for the financial support is going to have more and more measures to help the Thai OEM. The second area is the market. When there's a shutdown of the production, so now the COVID-19 now already reduced, and now the production comes. So when the productions come back, you have to increase the demand. So how to help them to access to the market. But for the overseas market, so we have to forget it, because many countries still have the problem of COVID-19. So we think that the local market is more important. So the government is trying to, help them to access or link with the market, the car maker or the maker in Thailand, in automotive industry. So we arrange many kinds of activity now in Thailand just to link the maker with the suppliers. We help them to have a network and can discuss about the sourcing. So now this is what we have done, Also, besides the market, we think about be ready to prepare themselves for the sourcing in the future. Because COVID-19, when the COVID-19 impact the production, we know that the supply chain has a problem. There's a stop or shutdown or shortage of supply chain. And many companies, many makers, they think that they should rely on the local supply chain. So to be ready, the Thai OEM should be ready for the new sourcing. So the government, help them. If any company improve their productivity, they replace machinery or invest more for productivity improvement, they will get more incentive in terms of tax exemption or other assistance. This is all the Thai government is trying to do now. But in the long run, we have to have more, measures to help them. This is all, 3 areas.
Yeah, thank you. I heard that there are about 30 companies applying for investment promotion in the EV industry in Thailand, and most of them are foreign players. So could you give us an overview as to what is the extent of the Thai companies joining the EV supply chain industry?
Okay, yeah, this is good question, because normally we will get, this question from many people that the Thailand Board of Investment that's just help the foreign company to invest in Thailand. What about the Thai company? Yeah. So I would say that we promote EV industry, not only investment, but other government agencies trying to promote, But for the investment, I would say that now it is the early stage of the EV industry in Thailand, because now there's many companies applying, to get the promotion and have the production in Thailand. But the Thai company, we also have the Thai company get promotion, Their production is the EV bus, and I think that this is the support of the government. They are doing R&D with the government, to produce the EV bus. So I think it should be one of the potential of Thai company to join the EV industry. And other field is charging station, Yeah, that's a big Thai company, is playing important role in this field. So there are many company is trying to, access to EV market, EV industry. So they have a EV association in Thailand now, become more and more. So I think that Thai company or Thai enterprise, can be a part of EV industry in Thailand.
Good to hear that. Okay, for my last question, do you have any future cooperation in the ASEAN region to support the automotive OEM in Thailand?
Okay, yes. Talking about automotive industry, as our Mr. Titikorn just mentioned earlier from his presentation that, okay, Thailand and Indonesia, the production of Thailand and Indonesia, we are not competing.
Okay.
Because actually the segment of automotive industry in Indonesia and Thailand is different. Actually, we in Thailand maybe passenger car and light truck, pickup truck, but in Indonesia it's UV or family car. So that is, we are not competing, but we have to support. Even different segment of vehicle, but the part, some part is common part. So we think that if we can exchange the part between ASEAN countries. So let's say Indonesia, they have potential to produce electronic part, and Thailand body part, and Philippines, they have plastic part. So we can exchange the part, but with lower import duty. It can, affect to the production cost. And when we have, the center of sourcing of the part in ASEAN country, we can be the global destination for sourcing also. So this is all we have to, and we can build up our supporting database for ASEAN. In BOI, I mean Thailand Board of Investment, we used to cooperate to build the database of supporting industry in automotive industry in ASEAN. And now it's time to update that supporting industry database again. So this is all I think that we should, ASEAN can be one of the global sourcing destination.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Ms. Songpin. Appreciate your responses. Is there anything else you would want to cover before we wrap up the live interview?
So I just want to say that, automotive industry and other industry as well, ASEAN would be one of the, important region in the world. So cooperation is the best if we can do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Back to
Catherine.
you,
Also. Yeah, thank
okay,
you,
bye.
Songpin.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye. See you later. Bye bye. And Songpin, thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you.
So anyway, I hope that partially answered a bit question asked by the Arvid Lely. Yeah, about what impact do we anticipated due to EVS. And because of the time limit, I haven't bring up the question. And you are always welcome to have the floor, have the chance to ask this question in person to our speaker. You can use the tag to filter the speaker from all the all the people attendees list. Okay. So now things is the last session before our tea break. Let's welcome our next speaker. Next speaker is Edward. Edward Tsai. Now I make you as presenter. Now try to turn on, open your camera and microphone and try to join me now. Meanwhile, I'll open your presentation for you.
Thank you for Jack. So is everybody can see me now?
Oh, Edward, hi.
Hi, Jack.
I know there's a little bit delayed, and thank you for your waiting. And now I can hear and see you very clear.
Okay.
I've heard that you prepare some extra bonus gift to our audience today.
Yes. First of all, I prepared some souvenir. Just give me the small time. This is our company pen, and it's not a simple pen. It's we call magic pen. Okay.
Okay.
First of all, you face your face. There is the button. You press the button. This is the pencil, and you turn right. There's a red color here. It becomes the red color. So they have a full color. Yes, this is why, and this is
Amazing.
this is I call this the magic pen. Magic pen.
How can we get that
So
pen?
after my presentation, is everybody ask the question? I prepared the 4 pens. Okay, please open to raise your hand to ask question, please. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's compete. Who asked the best question, and we'll select by Edward Tsai. Okay.
Oh, sure,
So now,
for sure. Yeah.
you have the floor. Let me open the presentation for you.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. Okay, first of all, let me introduce myself first. My name is Edward Tsai. I come from EMCA, Taiwan. We are selling the bar feeder and the aquas, the power tooling holders. Today, my topic is the rigid coverage provider for consistent production line in automotive industry. Okay, so you can see this is our bar feeder, and this is the aqua, the power tooling. Here, I come to the second page, automotive industrial. Because I think some customer maybe or some the audience you attend this webinar, you do the same similar product. So this is all the work piece come from my customer. So maybe you have the similar product as well. So it will be easy for you to get idea what kind of my equipment can equivalent to your product. Yes. On third page, I would like to talk about why use the bar feeder. Okay, please allow me to read for a while. The bar feeder are perhaps the most common automation accessory. Use the metalworking industrial. They generally apply the turning machine. They are designed to deliver the continuous supply for rough machining stock, rather in the round of hex and square, the straw-shaped the parts. The key point we are talking about, we can increase the productivity 15 to 30%. So that would be the key point why you use the bar feeder. Yeah, of course, the bar feeder must be with some condition. So this is you can see in the photo and my mouse. You see this is the hexagon bar, and this is all our EMCA bar feeder. On this page, I would like to talk about there are many bar feeder companies. Why you choose the EMCA bar feeder? There are several key factors. We can reduce the tool operate times and affect the handling raw material. This is the first one. The second one is the key point and key point and key point. So this is the key point. So I have to say 3 times. So we can reduce the vibration, which is the transfer for cutting zone, reduce the dimension to surface, the surface finishing. So the key point, once you reduce the vibration, you can enhance the tool life a lot, and you will increase your surface finishing a lot. Another one, we are able to machine tool to operate the best speed, the spindle speed, and we can minimize the change over time, and also we can reduce the material waste. We can provide a consistent, reliable operation to able to live out our production line. And in our slogan, EMCA is the worldwide leader of the bar feeder. Yes. On this page, I would like to talk about why EMCA is the best bar feeder in the world. Okay. First of all, I would like to talk about my company, EMCA history. We are established in 1961. We have a 4 production line in the global world. We are a global company, and we have an employee 550, and we have installed more than 100,000 bar feeder in over 90 countries. And this is the EMCA factory. We are located in Italy, the main factory, which is located in Florence. It is a 1 hour flight beyond the Venice. The factory total area is 25,000 square meters. And this page, you can see all the EMCA factory. Everywhere is inside the AC condition. So we fabricated the bar feeder all in AC condition. Yeah. On this page, we have many patent design. We have 50 R&D people and 35 patents, since we only design only the bar feeder. So we have 35 patent designs. On this page, I would like to show you, because I think many presenter only the PowerPoint. I would like to do some video. Hey, Jack, can you do me a favor to play my boss series video? Thank you. Thank you, Jack. Why I showed our Bose series is because the Bose series is our modern design since we are established in 1961. This is the first, and of course after that we do some improvement a lot, but this is our modern design. On this page, I just want to highlight some key facts of a Bose series. So you can see here, our PU guide channel is very thick compared with other competitor, and we use the steel bins, which is very strong. So you can direct the guide channel directly. He can hold the guide channel closed completely. He can reduce a lot of vibrations. And secondly, just like you can see, this is strong over design mechanical device. So we are very smoothly to push the bar pusher strongly. Yeah. So this is the 338 to 552 is made in Italy. And oh, sorry, let me go back the page. And this is the bar feeder we are already qualified for DMG Mori, the qualified product. So you can see we got a DNQP. And in Taiwan, we have the same series, but which is made in Taiwan. But we use the same factor, like a PU guide channel. We also make in Italy one. Steel bin also make in Italy one. But only some electrical component we make it. We resourcing the Taiwan supplier. Yes. So there's some of the bundle magazine, which is if you have a many bar, you can you can supply this option for the bundle a lot of bar. Hey Jack, so can you help me to play? Wait a second. Here I would like to show you why we become the DNQP partner for our EMK and the Argos brand. Here we show the video. So from this video, we can see just like EMK and the Agra, we do a lot of testing in the DMG Mori machine. So finally, we get a DMG QP, which is a DMG Mori qualified product. Yeah, it's a very certificate for our EMK and Agra's product. Hey Jack, can you also help me to play the Changxin Thailand's video? Yeah. Yeah, this is my best friend in Thailand, which is located in Thailand Rayon. Yeah, the name is the company is Changxin. The owner is President Yao. Hey Jack, please help me to play the travel video as well. Yeah, I hope everybody can see a lot of video. Yeah, I hope everybody can wake up now. Okay, my PowerPoint is going to very end very soon. This is the couple page. Here, I just wanted more to show you. This is how close with EMCAM and Aguas, our cooperation with our Buffet and the Aguas power tooling. So this is some photo. You can see this is our series with Aguas and our Buffet with DMG molding machines. And the other one, we are not only close with the DMG, we also have many cooperation with the Star. This is with the Star machines. And this is with the Citizen. Yeah. And also this is with the Tsugami. So you can see have many corporations. And this is with the other late corporation with Tonos, Nakamura Tomy, and with the Doosan and the Mazak. Here, I just want to show you some customer reference, which is I think this is the audience. Somebody come from ASEAN Takaoka. ASEAN now is very big, the second tier in the car maker in Thailand. Yeah, is also our customer, and Global Tyson and the Sixton and Triva and the GMP Korea and also GMP Thailand as well. Yeah, here is if you have any further question, please feel free to contact with me. And now I think is the Q&A time. So if everybody want to get this pen, please ask your question. Yeah, I'm free to get this pen for free. Yeah.
Pen still, because there are only 5 questions so far. So let's Edward, you can pick any question you would like to answer first.
Oh, okay.
There are quite several questions in the chat room area. And if you go to the Q&A mode, you can select the questions, right? You don't have to go to the public area. Yeah.
So, okay, so I just click.
What about answering the question of how many percentages of the productivity will it increase when you use the bar feeder?
Oh, it will be the 15 to 30%. Yeah, I should be mentioning in my PowerPoint. Yes, 15 to 30% at least. Yeah.
Oh.
Because you use a bar feeder, of course, with some conditions. So if you reach the right with the right way, it will increase more. Yes. Hope it's clear to Catherine. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you like to answer this question? From Jenny, I guess.
Oh, we have a 50 engineer. We have a certified partner design. Since the EMCA, we only produce the bar feeder, so we have certified partner design, which is like our universal bushing, which is easy to exchange for the second anti-vibration, and the sway and chuck, and many our partner design. We have certified. Yeah.
And the next question is copy and paste by me because I collect from the other website. Someone asked, when was the EMCA established?
Oh,
I just
EMCA.
mentioned it before.
Yeah, EMCA we established in 1961. So
Yes.
Next year is our 60 years. We are 60 year on next year. We are very old company already. Yeah.
For Chinese people, it's a really great, important year, right? For 60 years.
Yeah, it's a 6 decade, right, Jack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a question from Matt Wong.
Oh, okay. As I showed in in my presentation, just like because EMCA and Aqua, we do a lot the testified for our product to DMG Mori machine. We send our bar feeder and Aqua's power tooling to to DMG Mori in their factory for testing. Year keep testing after we get the DMQP. So this is the DMG Mori qualified product. So we are really getting DMQP. So it's very good certificate and very important for us. Yeah. I hope it's clear to everybody. Yes.
And there's another question asked by Amber. This question is quite a bit long. Would you please try to read it and answer for us?
What are some of the present challenges Asia user face? What do you think can be done to overcome this issue when your product taken in mind? Some of the recent challenges Asian user face. What kind of thing you can be done to overcome this issue? Sorry, I'm not so get this point. What is this question? Sorry.
I believe that she's asking about the recent challenges, right? We're having, right? Besides besides COVID-19 and what else? The supply chain.
Oh, okay. You mean something like that. Okay. So, as I mentioned in my presentation, because the bar feeder is one of the automation accessory, and the Aqua also one of the accessory for automation. So, after this COVID-19, and also we can see for the previous presenter, whether from the Thailand governor and ASEAN, the status, we can see everybody is going to automation. In also the industry 4.0. So there will be the key point. How do we improve the automation and the industry 4.0? How do we implement your existing machines? So this is why I would like to show the bar feeder and Aqua to some customer. Maybe you only have some late, but you don't have a bar feeder. Yeah, please free to contact with me. So we are able to how to say equivalent and to how do we help you in this industry 4.0, because after pandemic, I think for sure everybody will keep the automation will booming. We can say automation will booming a lot. Yeah, it depends how what the customer do, and how do the maker like us, how to help the customer. Yeah. So please,
of course,
please contact me. This is my name, my email, my number.
Exactly. So I believe that it's come to the end because of the time issue also. And yes, so I have to stop your presentation right now. But before that, would you like to pick anyone you want to select to win your prize today?
So how many people asked? So let me check.
Actually, there are 5 people.
Yeah, well, I can keep all. We have no problem for that,
Ah, great.
Yeah.
So thank you for very generous and Edward Tai for your great presentation today.
Thank you, guys.
And
thank you, Jack.
Edward is at his booth waiting for you to contact them, networking with them. Thank you,
Yeah,
Edward. See you guys later.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Jack.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you guys.
Hello, everyone. Now it's me again. We passed through the several sessions, actually 4 sessions in this morning. and there are really great questions and presentations. So now I would like to announce that now is our tea break time. Because we've been a really long time already, so let's have at least around 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, we have 15 minutes tea break time. So starting from now, 4:05, let's come back with 4:20. So you can take a short break and drink some water maybe. But the very most importantly is, look what's inside my hand. The pack, a whole pack of the facial masks. We are giving this out of 5 packs of made in Taiwan medical facial mask. And the only way you can get it is to visit our exhibition booth. Our exhibition booth is at our main page at your left hand side. At your left hand side, click exit hall. And I can actually show you where to go. If you go to the exhibit site, don't forget, this is our lobby. You have to go to the exhibit hall side, and don't forget, you have to ask the right questions to these people. For example, like the speaker a while ago, the previous session, Edward Tsai. He is actually here at this booth waiting for you to ask the right question. To ask the right question and to download the PDF file. And the 2 ways you can win this pack of facial masks is you have to find the clue we have been hidden in this kind of download file. Maybe in EMCA or TM or LCM, maybe we hide 2 pictures, but you can just get 1 to us. Don't forget to pass the correct answer to our lucky draw assistant. You can find our lucky draw assistant at networking area. At networking area, you can use the filter to find the tag of organizer. You can find our lucky draw assistant here, right here. Click lucky draw assistant and click start chat. Leave your correct answer to him or to her. I'm not sure. Also what? Also, you can try to go to this group column and go to organizer group to leave your answers there. Or you have any other questions, you can also leave the questions here. Our helpers, our assistant, and all of us will be there for you all the time. So don't forget to come back later at 4:20. Okay, now it's 4:08. Let's take a short break. And during the break time, I will play a little bit short video again.
我就和新老朋友一起回顾一下海康机器视觉的发展历程。
今天下午4点，我们还会有一场互动的演讲。
再次感谢谭科长给我们带来的精彩演讲。
我们这一部分内容，我们采取缩以及和大数据的方法，有非常多种的这个模式器件我们可能有很多的这个。
So we use the digital as a platform of new communication because this is very important. If you don't have the digital life and your business will be fading away.
More accelerate localized production network and local supply chain network. step by step by manually using the very simple sensor and very simple analysis tool. So we are just in the beginning.
They have to be quick thinking, quick decision making, and quick changes. So also set more agile systems, e-procurement, e-sourcing, but also.
So, having the technology is one thing, then knowing what to 3D print, what to design is another thing. Yeah. So the thing is, and you can see based on the color, they also use the color as communication. For example, this is color.
Originally, we have Caterpillar Vietnam, and our office located in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. We are there to support you with our device, and we have
Be willing to invest, be willing to invest and transform, but to invest in a smart way.
So I think the important is to stay connected with customer, to stay connected with the market demand and the production situation.
Much more flexible to adopt new strategies, new challenges, new opportunities. 和新老朋友一起回顾一下海康机器视觉的发展历程。
今天下午4点，我们还会有一场互动的演讲。
再次感谢谭科长给我们带来的精彩演讲。
我们这一部分内容，我们采取缩以及和大数据的方法，
有分非常多种的这个后置器件我们可能有很多的这个。
So we use the digital as a platform of new communication because this is very important. If you don't have the digital life, and your business will be fading away.
More accelerate localized production network and local supply chain network. Step by step by manually using the very simple sensor and very simple analysis tool. So we are just in the beginning.
They have to be quick thinking, quick decision making, and quick changes. So also set more agile systems, e-procurement, e-sourcing, but also.
So, having the technology is one thing, then knowing what to 3D print, what to design is another thing. Yeah. So the thing is, and you can see based on the color, they also use the color as communication. For example, this is color.
Originally, we have Caterpillar Vietnam, and our office located in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. We are there to support you with our device, and we have.
Be Be willing to invest. Be willing to invest and transform. But to invest in a smart way.
So I think the important is to stay connected with customers, to stay connected with the market demand and the production situation.
Much more flexible to adopt new strategies, new challenges, new opportunities.
和新老朋友一起回顾一下海康机器视觉的发展历程。
今天下午4点，我们还会有一场互动的演讲。
再次感谢谭科长给我们带来的精彩演讲。
这一部分内容，我们采取所以结合大数据的
有分非常多种的针孔元器件我们可能有很多的
So we use the digital as a platform of new communication because this is very important. If you don't have the digital life and your business will be fading away.
More accelerate localized production network and local supply chain network. Step by step, by manually using the very simple sensor and very simple analysis tool. So we are just in the beginning.
They have to be quick thinking, quick decision making, and quick changes. So also set more agile systems. E-procurement, e-sourcing, but also...
So, having the technology is one thing, knowing what to 3D print, what to design is another thing. So the thing is... And you can see, based on the color, they also use the color as communication. For example, this is color.
Originally, we have Tata Color Vietnam, and our office located in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. We are there to support you with our device and we help you.
Be willing to invest, be willing to invest and transform, but to invest in a smart way.
So I think the important is to stay connected with customers, to stay connected with the market demand and the production situation.
Much more flexible to adopt new strategies, new challenges, new opportunities.
和新老朋友一起回顾一下海康机器视觉的发展历程。
今天下午4点，我们还会有一场互动的演讲。
再次感谢谭科长给我们带来的精彩演讲。
我们这一次内容，我们采取数据缩以及大数据的
有分非常多种的针孔元器件我们可能有很多的这个。
Plenty of people still here with me all the day. I'm very happy, and I have to notice that I have to remind you that have you all answered to the questions to our lucky draw assistant already? It doesn't that hard. Yeah, I can tell many people can actually do it. Simply one, talk to our exhibit hall, any people there, any manager or standard people, just talk to them, ask about their products, about their company information. So easy. And they are very kind. They will give you the password. And use the password, talk to our lucky draw system, and you can join our lucky draw system. Lucky draw game. And also, you can download simply, if you are too shy to talk to them, download their files. We have hidden two pictures in their downloading files. And if you can tell our lucky draw assistant which one file we hide our clue, we hide our picture, then you can win this pack of MIT facial mask as a prize. So let me put this away. So happy again. Let's go to our next session. Our first session after our tea break is from our Mr. Sherwin C. Nons for giving us a bright future vision of technology. Let's welcome the speaker.
Good day to everyone. Welcome to the ASEAN Smart Factory Summit 2020. In this session, we're going to talk about technologies to future-proof manufacturing supply chains. I'm Sherwin Ones. I'm Head of Strategy for Integrated Microelectronics, an electronics manufacturing services company that's global, but based in the Philippines. We'll start out by sharing my screen. Hold on just a bit. Okay, here we go. So, there you go. All right. So again, welcome to this session. To start off, I would like to talk about first the global economy and see a good overview of what is happening around the world. Definitely, this pandemic, the ongoing pandemic, has brought about a great disruption around the world, and it's brought the worst recession since the Depression. You would see globally, the GDP or the global economy will be down almost 5% this year. Technically, that's like a two-year step back from where we are. And if you would look at all the major economies, the US, Europe, Germany, ASEAN, UK, Japan, and all the other emerging markets, they're all negative, except for China, which is almost flat. However, by next year, it is estimated that there will be a recovery. Might not be enough to bring back to pre-pandemic times, but there's going to be some recovery, assuming that there would be some normalization brought about by either a vaccine or a reduction of infected cases. Now, I would also like to show you the sector on manufacturing. This is a slide from Oxford Economics in July 2020. You would see here that some sectors in manufacturing, primarily automotive, aerospace, and metal goods, may take some time to recover. If things normalize by next year, it will take them up to 2022 to recover. All the rest, food, electronics, industrial and building materials, chemicals, and pharma, they will start to recover later this year up to next year, 2021. So truly, the pandemic is reshaping the way we do business, dynamics of global trade. And it's not just the way we do business, and even the structures that are surrounding it, that are the foundation of it, is being shaken. One of the things that may happen as a result is that companies or organizations globally that are over-dependent on a single country for their sourcing would now look at accelerating a move towards regional supply chains or regionalization. And this would enable the company to have more risk mitigations for global events or trends or disruptions like this one. And maybe later on there would be a greater one, such as climate change. So this is something that companies are now looking at. Apart from the pandemic, there are also other trends on top of that. So you got trade wars, global politics, national policies, and other natural disasters, increasing the uncertainty and volatility of the economies in the market. It is thus essential today that organizations analyze their supply chain data and build strategies so that they can mitigate the threats of future disruptions. And that's why digital transformation of companies is being hastened because of all these uncertainties. I would just like to walk through some of these technologies that are now being used, that are up and coming, so that companies and organizations can mitigate these risks. You have 5G networks, for example. Compared to its predecessors, 5G is a massive step forward with regard to data speed and processing capabilities. The 5G network in a factory, for example, can minimize latency and enhance real-time visibility and IoT capabilities. Compared to 4G, it's about 10 to 20 times faster. Hyper-automation is a framework to mix and match a vast array of technologies, bridging historic legacy platforms with new ones today. If deployed correctly, hyper-automation can encourage broader collaboration across domains and across functions that are separate or siloed. Digital supply chain twin is a digital representation of the physical supply chain. It is derived from all relevant data across the supply chain and its operating environment. So a company or an organization may want to run simulations on its digital supply chain twin before actually running it to minimize cost. They can spot errors earlier. They can make corrections right away. Continuous intelligence is one of the biggest opportunities for supply chain leaders, so that they can look at process data in near real time, understand what is happening, and take action immediately. Edge computing and analytics is where data is processed and analyzed close to its collection point. and coincides with the proliferation of IoT devices. It's making its way into the manufacturing industry. And for example, some organizations have adopted driverless forklifts or automated conveyors for their warehouses. And for example, another example would be for heavy equipment sellers to use edge computing to analyze when a part needs maintenance or replacement. Overall, artificial intelligence would consist of all these tools and more that would help companies to understand complex content, engage in natural dialogue with people, enhance human performance, and take over routine tasks. But like I said, these are just elements and building blocks. One opportunity for companies today is to look into how they would be able to combine all these, find synergies that would target niche needs of each organization. For example, some of these combined technologies would be cognitive supply chain. It is a radically disruptive system wherein it understands unstructured data. It forms hypotheses, learn from experience through machine learning, and it is able to interact with humans seamlessly and naturally. They bring together artificial intelligence, cognitive computing, cloud technology, and there will be a lot of automation and self-learning. It will be able to perceive, predict, plan, and act based on real-time supply chain data and transactions. So this is crucial, especially with disasters like the pandemic, or maybe in the future, food crisis or climate change. Another one would be scenario planning. So it is being able to, for the system to conduct foresight, to prepare for events that are yet to happen. Scenario planning allows organizations to establish action plans and predictive analytics to greatly enhance risk management practices. This is enabled by AI, machine learning, and automation as well, and can help propose recommendations and not just predict events that will happen. So they would be able to identify strategic and concentrated supplies that are at risk, and most importantly, recognize current internal risk capacities if they are insufficient or not. Blockchain, which is the last of the three, is of course something we have often heard. Is basically reducing all these paper copies and packing lists to, or bill of lading, to a small packet, and you're able to have more security on it, less labor intensive, and companies can have greater visibility and efficiency, as well as auditability in their supply chains. Now, as I said, these are just elements of technology and combination of technologies. But I would like to talk about what the World Economic Forum shared recently. And this is the 5 key imperatives to ensure that the long-term success of manufacturing and supply chain systems are achieved. Now, I talked about technologies, and these very may well address all those needs. But now we look at long-term effects, long-term success. How do we ensure that we can have long-term success in these areas? So first is rapid tailoring of manufacturing and supply systems to changing consumer behavior. This crisis that we have now has forced consumers to change their preferences, whether by embracing digital channels, cash-free transactions, or more. It is too early to say what the customer behavior changes will persist, what they will have later on. But given that customer habits such as customization, or eco-friendly shopping is already being influenced by global supply chain, it is likely that the manufacturing and supply system will need to increasingly be able to rapidly tailor to changing preferences, increasing demand sensing capabilities by deepening sources and utilizing data, demand data, and leveraging digital technologies to be more closely integrated with customers and the manufacturing process will be crucial. So it involves a mindset, it involves structure as well. The next would be on the ICT infrastructure. There should be an agile manufacturing and supply system setup that is enabled by advanced technology. So again, this crisis, companies were able to respond quickly, but there are those who weren't. For those who were able to respond quickly, they were flexible and agile and had a clear advantage because they were able to set up really quickly. Advanced manufacturing technologies such as, well, automation, advanced robotics, additive manufacturing can bring this to a new level. For example, by producing goods directly to a hospital setting or dramatically altering traditional value delivery model in the process. Immersive technologies or immersive experiences such as the use of virtual reality, wherein you don't have to be in a certain area, but you can operate it remotely, is going to be part of this. It helps people, it helps the structure to be more agile in cases of disruptions. It also simplifies the process of switching from one product to another or from one site to another. The third one is logistics coordination across and within global value chains. This is a key element in increasing the resiliency of overall systems. Logistics that connect the different nodes, different sites globally. And during the crisis, for example, capacity limitations were sometimes even the reason for supply shortages. Logistics coordination across and within global value chains will be driven by these new technologies, enabling a lot of visibility in addition to analysis. So you got blockchain that enables these applications together with IoT sensors that further reduces roadblocks to accelerate these connections. So I placed here a picture of the automated warehouse in Alibaba, which clearly depicts this kind of technology. The next would be adoption of new ways of working and governing to increase manufacturing resilience. I placed here a picture of an employee, probably, yes, a parent, an employee who has children, and she is trying to, work at the same time take care of her kids. And this unprecedented level of home office will change the ways of working. And right now, a lot of organizations are trying to set up standards on how this should be done. And companies are looking into using more of technology, virtual augmented reality for all the other areas, not just the support group, but also even the technical side. That's why the challenge there is being able to strike a balance between embracing this change and also raising productivity. The last one is shared responsibility and collaboration among companies and authorities and government to address social and environmental challenges. Companies have worked together in ways with government bodies and other companies in their wider manufacturing ecosystem. The collaboration has proven fruitful at many points and many experiences. And digital processes with regulatory agencies, for example, can be cited. As companies do their CSR, as some companies do their social and environmental programs that affect not just their employees, but their community as well. So the experiences from this crisis on how efficiently this wider ecosystem can be leveraged, such as climate change, and can be used to bridge these gaps that are between industry and the community. Technology is enabling new ways of collaboration, not just to address this, but really to look into how sustainable development goals, like what you see there on the screen, is important, and how it is able to impact how an organization will continue to become sustainable in their operations. How do we address carbon footprint? How do we address our the health and safety of our employees? How do we address the needs of the community? So these are all very crucial as the world today aligns itself to the more important needs of the planet, the needs of the people, and the needs of the environment. So in summary, that's the 5 key imperatives to ensure that long-term success of manufacturing and supply chain systems are achieved. Just to summarize, we talked about technology, and that is very, very important. However, it should not end there. There is a higher purpose, and we need to unlearn old paradigms and old structures that we have so that we can fortify our organizations, mitigate risks, and understand how we can position ourselves. We need to understand the upstream, the downstream, marketing, customers, sales, the impact of climate change, what is sustainable procurement. Technology will only make work and processes faster. But what we need more is understanding. What we need more is collaboration, flexibility, and quick adoption rates. Technology weaves all through this. And over and above these are people. So we need to be able to ensure that people will be able to utilize technology so that we can achieve these goals. It would be people driving technologies, not the other way around. So just a snapshot. I work for Integrated Microelectronics. We're a publicly listed company based in the Philippines, but we have 22 factories in more than 10 countries globally. And we're among the top 20 largest EMS companies in the world, and the 6th in automotive EMS. Yes, we have been affected by the pandemic. And yes, we are learning how we can better achieve risk mitigation in not just the current situation, but in the future. In fact, when you look at our integrated report, we not only declare our financials, but we also look at what are the things that we are able to consume, what direct emissions that come out of our manufacturing, what indirect emissions come out. So that's scope 1 and scope 2. And scope 3, that's carbon footprint for those who are traveling within the country and outside of the country. We also look at hazardous waste, how much we have recycled, as well as plastic. So these are the things that are very important and very crucial when you talk of the company being able to have a long-term view and success, not just in manufacturing, not just in supply chain, but fused in the community and fused within the environment it works around. Just recently, we have initiated programs that address our response to the pandemic, such as recently FDA approved the non-invasive ventilator license from the UK to be manufactured in our facility in the Philippines. We set up an automated face mask manufacturing line, and also we're now setting up a localized contact tracing system using RFID technology for all the employees and visitors of our company. So we think that being able to utilize our experience and our technologies to address these needs of our employees, their families, and our community would be beneficial in the long run. In the end, there is a lot of uncertainty at this point. And we acknowledge that. Everybody sees that as well. The world is changing. We now realize that healthcare is more important than most industries today. Mobility is being redefined. And we have to be ready. We have to be able to adapt to these new things that are coming up and not be forced into by anything. As a final note, let me quote from futurist Gerd Leonhard. He said, and I quote, sorry, instead of the future shaping us, let us ask ourselves, how can we shape the future that we need? How can we lead instead of just responding? How can we act ahead and lead ourselves to the future that we want to be? So I leave you with that. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Good day to everyone. Thank
you. Again, let me now give my thanks to the speaker. It's always essential to have some trend analysis. So thank you very much, Mr. Shurin Sinons. So let's give Sino a time to be prepared, because I think there are several questions to us to publish. So Shernon, can you please go back and turn on your camera? And I can publish those questions for you. I believe there are 2 questions from Matt and Amber. Hello. Let's try this one first. From Matt Wong. What technologies will be important in helping supply chains to be more resilient? Please answer that question.
Thank you so much, Jack. Thank you for the organizers. As what was mentioned in my presentation, I would just like to reiterate these areas and on technologies. First is the area of building and delivering more value to customers. And when you come up with this need, you look at cost reduction and faster time to market. And these will be addressed by automation, faster connectivity, such as 5G infrastructure, and connectivity as well, and also all the other things that will make things faster and quicker, such as software integration. The second part would be having a more intelligent and faster analysis on answering the questions why and solving problems, predicting and preparing for events to happen, which might be which might include predictive analytics. So you might be able to use digital supply chain twin, the use of APIs or application programming interface, which is infused with the third-party solutions, edge computing, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. Of course, blockchain as well. As we know, COVID-19 is an opportunity right now. Instead of a crisis, we're now looking at it as an opportunity for companies to actually know their weaknesses, especially during these kinds of disruptions that may still happen in the future. Now is a good time to really study and to prepare for similar disruptions, to set up a stronger strategy that will help the company in risk mitigation. That's all.
I think so. So let's answer the other question, okay? Which is from Amber. What are the critical factors that you will drive the application of technologies in supply chain, especially in Asia?
Okay. Technologies are basically tools, and
having automation or having intelligent automation does not necessarily bring value right away. So first thing I'd like to mention in these critical factors is two. So the first one would be strategy. What is your strategy? What is your purpose? What value do you want to bring or raise using technology? Having a vision of what you want to achieve is important in achieving this. So if your objective is to reduce cost or to provide more value to customers, so what is the strategy? How are you going to do it? And the second one would be who will drive your technologies, who will design it, who will use it. In short, it's the people component. This would include all the soft skills included in this component, not just the people in the company, but how you're going to use these people to drive the technology. This includes collaboration, leadership, critical thinking, innovation, and so much more. Collaboration within, with suppliers, with customers, and even competitors is essential moving to the future. So I guess when you talk of really going out of our comfort zone or thinking out of the box, we really need to come up with new things, new ideas, even new solutions, so that we'll be able to mitigate these kinds of disruptions in the futures. And these areas will actually drive the application of new technologies that will help our supply chain to deliver value, especially in ASEAN. I think earlier, the speaker from Thailand reiterated having collaboration within ASEAN between governments from different countries. But I would also like to add having that same collaboration with companies as well is something that we can add.
I see. It's always important to think outside the box. And although there are no more questions, but have you noticed in the chat room, there's a person talking to you saying goodbye and see you next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's always great to have the new knowledge and about new knowing about the new trends. Thank you for your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and don't forget to visit our booth or our main event page. Okay, later can have more networking there. Okay,
yes.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
So, let's welcome our next session. Next session will be brought up by Mr. Mikko Jarvikivi. It's always essential to have some trend analysis. So let's look at his amazing presentation.
Hello and good afternoon. My name is Mikko Järvikivi from Hitachi. I'm located in Espoo, in Finland, so talking to you from Finland today. The topic today is the automotive trends, changing PMI, positive material identification analysis, and how can you be ready for the change. Before going to the topic of the day, I will briefly go through the agenda. I will first discuss a little bit about the rise of the lighter weight metals, then move to the 100% PMI and how can we be ready for that. So then brief introduction to alloy analyzers and then introduction to Hitachi instrument toolbox, which are offering our right tool for every analysis purpose, followed by questions and answers. We know that the automotive sector is in state of flux. It is driven by regulations for stricter emission control. With the drive to cut the carbon emissions and fierce competition are causing rapid change that affects all elements of the supply chain. This includes foundries, fabricators, plating and coating facilities, electronic component manufacturers, battery producers, vehicle manufacturers, and recycling plants as well. It is known that the car emissions are held responsible for much of our air pollution and greenhouse gases. According to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, motor vehicles collectively cause up to 75% of carbon monoxide pollution in the US. And for the first time in more than 40 years, the biggest source of greenhouse gas pollution in the US isn't electricity production, but transport. Cars, trucks, planes, trains, and shipping. The heavier the vehicle, the fewer miles you get from a single charge of tank of fuel. You could add battery capacity, but that gives diminishing returns. Batteries are expensive and add hugely to the vehicle's weight. Ultimately, the answer is to reduce the weight by using lighter components whenever possible across the entire vehicle. The automotive industry has very exact requirements for components, perhaps second only to the aerospace. Safety is obviously a huge issue and many components must be ductile to absorb energy on impact. Other components must be structurally rigid, so strength is more critical. This makes the development of new alloys a very exact science, and analyzing the melt chemistry down to the ppm level is crucial to avoid residual elements, which can have strong effects on mechanical properties of the alloy being developed. So need to identify and quantify is important to keep the impact of residual elements within acceptable limits. Aluminium and magnesium alloys have won the favor in the industry because they are light, they are relatively low cost, and give many of the properties needed. They can be formed into complex shapes, including engine components, gearbox housings, structural parts. There are also developments to add higher concentrations of aluminium to steel and cast iron grades to make the materials lighter. Aluminium is a very attractive material because it weighs only 1/3 of what of steel, and the use of aluminium in cars has skyrocketed in recent years. By 2022, average car is expected to contain almost 100 kg of aluminium as a replacement of heavier parts. This means that the automotive industry will make up a quarter of all aluminium consumption, and that is 30 million tons by the year 2025. Car manufacturers are still working to replace more steel parts in aluminium. Good example is like Ford F-150 Alucab, and also the recent changes in high-end BMW models where tailgates been replaced with aluminium parts instead of steel used before. Aluminium, we know it's light, it has good corrosion resistance, its workability is good, it's very abundantly available, but it has certain disadvantages. It cannot be used in all automotive parts because higher strength is needed. It can be relatively expensive as well, depending on the grade being used. And workability and weldability can be more challenging than using traditional materials. Magnesium is even lighter than aluminium and has the highest strength-to-weight ratio of all structural metals. It is abundant in availability and easily recyclable, so it's not surprising that since its early use for wheels, magnesium has replaced steel and aluminium in housings and space frames and been used extensively as an alloying element in aluminium alloys. However, magnesium does have few drawbacks. It is brittle, it doesn't have the creep resistance of aluminium, but innovation in the next couple of years could see those problems go away. The quality of the new alloys being developed stems from having the right tools to help you from the start, from making sure the right materials is used to controlling the metal melt. Investing in an analyzer that provides results fast and accurately for decision making is very important these days. But steel is also making a comeback. We are working with many steel makers who are developing super lightweight steels that are stronger, cheaper, and lighter, and they are coming back to gain market share. And they are just about here, with new products expected to arrive on the market already next year, or could be even earlier. Steel has several advantages. It is higher strength, good strength, lower cost, and the weight gap to aluminium is being reduced as we speak. but it's still much heavier than aluminum or magnesium. 100% PMI. It is a new trend in PMI, positive material identification, for identifying the alloy materials and that the right grade is used for right purpose. It's part of the quality control, which is very important because there are many places in manufacturing chain where things can go wrong unless right materials being used. Typical pain points in the process are, first of all, you can get the wrong alloy or component from supplier. That is possible. Mix-ups do happen. You can have a mixed up or even forged sample certificate, meaning that by accident or deliberately you get different document following the material that you received. There's always a possibility for mix-up of materials in a warehouse, or the metal being stamped or marked could be lost in a process. The question to ask is that what would be the cost to you and your business if a wrong material would be used? Therefore, it's always good to trust, but also verify. So, what is 100% PMI? What we call it's an increasing trend in fabrication and manufacturing, where basically everything coming in the house, all raw materials and components are checked and made sure that they are right materials, and then ensures the quality and right material through the whole manufacturing process. Automotive industry is one of the first adopters of more rigorous incoming inspection and 100% PMI. Other industries are petrochemical, pharmaceutical, and also aerospace, of course. It is possible to do the checks throughout the process from the point when you receive the material all the way to the point when you ship your component or your product to your customer. So where in automotive supply chain PMI takes in place? The obvious one is incoming inspection. That is the most important part of the manufacturing chain, where you need to check that you are using a right material, because if the incoming material is wrong, everything from that point will go wrong as well. In worst case, resulting a poor quality product that doesn't meet other specifications. So ensuring quality of raw material and verifying that material matches the certificate. In factory floor, you can also do additional checks to avoid any potential mix-ups, and checking the material before expensive work routines and parts in a process such as CNC machining. In a couple of seconds, you can check that the part that you are about to machine is actually made of right material, and that gives you additional layer of confidence to your process. And eventually, in final inspection, you can check that the component manufactured is made of right material before sending it out to your customers. These steps are not only to ensure the quality of the end product, but also strengthens the company brand as a trusted supplier. And as we know, high quality brands, trusted brands are often also able to command a little bit higher end user price for the similar components. 100% PMI comes with requirements. It's a completely different thing to measure 2, 10, or 50 samples of the batch of 1,000 components, but to measure every component in 1,000 component delivery. This means that the 100% PMI significantly increases the number of samples you need to measure. So that sets also requirements and challenges for the instrumentation that you use. In some cases, up to hundreds or even thousands of samples need to be measured every day. And if you're working on 3 shifts around the clock, this means that the number of samples can be several thousand a day. To keep your processes efficient, several requirements are set for the tools that you use for your analysis purposes. Of course, the instrument needs to be fast and accurate. No question about that. You want the result as quickly as possible with minimal hassle, and you want to be able to trust the result that you get. Then you need powerful tools to manage the huge amount of data that you create, because in many cases you want to store the analysis results for later. If in case there's any misunderstandings, any confusions, any questions from your customers, you can always go back to the certain date and prove that you actually measured this component. And here are the results, and that you can prove that the checks have been made. You need a tool that runs 24/7, day after day after day. Tool needs to be robust and reliable, and also you need to have responsive service for minimum downtime. You don't want to be without your analyzer for a month if it's sent for service. You need a system that works and supports you through the whole analyzer lifetime. And of course, we are all cutting our costs, so you need something that is low cost of ownership. You know that when you buy a device, then you know what to expect and how much it will cost you to use the analyzer through the instrument's lifetime. The basics of analyzers here is that unfortunately today, if you look at what the measurement requirements are in the industry, there's not going to be a single device that can do the job. There's not one instrument that can do everything from quick sorting, quick alloy identification, measuring all the elements included in steels, and also do that on very low levels. So it's very important to understand what your measurement requirements are, so then you can pick the right tool for the purpose. I'm briefly going to introduce what are the technologies used for 100% PMI and in automotive supply chains, and then the characteristics of the devices, and then also the strengths and limitations of each technology. There are basically three technologies for alloy analysis and identification. Starting from left, the latest arrival is laser-induced breakdown spectroscopy, LIBS. It is good for quick identification of the sample. In just 1 second, you can pull a trigger, look at your screen and see that this is the right aluminum grade, this is the right steel grade, and so on. It is also very easy to use, and it comes with less hassle because it doesn't use any X-rays as the excitation source. Then XRF is the most commonly used device. It's X-ray fluorescence, and it's the beauty of that technology is that it's completely 100% non-destructive, meaning that it doesn't leave any mark on the sample. This means that you can measure even the finalized goods and products, and they'll still be able to sell the product forward without no defects on the surface. Optical emission spectroscopy is the ultimate performance tool. These are usually portable or stationary units. They are not in handheld form factor. But these instruments can measure low and trace element levels, including boron, carbon, nitrogen, and basically all the elements included in steels, as well as in aluminum alloys, of course. Looking at the technology a little bit in more detail, handheld XRF is fast. It's a very precise tool for PMI applications. You can measure up to 35 or even 40 elements on a single measurement in a couple of seconds and down to ppm level. Measurement time typically 2 to 3 up to 10 seconds, depending on what kind of alloy you want to measure. And these tools are really harsh, built for harsh conditions these days. They are really built for purpose, and they can be used in factories, they can be used in scrap yards, and basically anything between. This technology also is the least sensitive to sample surface conditions, meaning that if your incoming material is dusty or there's oily or a little bit wet on the surface, XRF is the most forgiving of the three technologies. However, the highest quality measurement is always obtained from clean and flat surface, regardless of the technology or instrument being used. The limitations of XRF are the detection limits. The detection limits, meaning the lowest possible concentrations of elements in your sample, are higher compared to OES. It is slightly slower than LIBS, especially on aluminum alloys and measuring elements such as magnesium, aluminum, and silicon. XRF can't measure carbon, nitrogen, lithium, beryllium, or low levels of phosphorus and sulfur. So if these are important to you, then you need to choose an optical emission OES device instead. X-ray emitting devices are often strictly regulated and require safety training and licensing. These licensing requirements and safety training requirements vary depending on in which country you are located in. LIBS, on the other hand, is the ultra-fast sorter. It gives you an alloy identification, meaning that if you need to know what is the alloy type you have in hand in just 1 second. This could be 304, 316, 321 stainless steel, or it could be aluminium 2024, 7075, or anything similar. It gives you the alloy grade in 1 second. However, it is very important to you to understand the exact chemistry. For example, what is the nickel concentration in 3 or 4 stainless steel? In that case, XRF or OES is typically a better tool. This gives you a ballpark information, typically maybe 5-10% analysis error, but it's not as accurate as the other technologies. But it has no X-rays, it is very simple to use, it's easy to maintain, there are no breaking parts, and you can even measure samples in your hand. That makes sometimes measuring small parts much more convenient, something that you'd never do with handheld XRF. Limitations: analytical performance. Detection limits are higher than in XRF or OES. It can't analyze nitrogen or phosphorus and sulfur. These elements can be important in measurement dealing with steels, so it's important to understand that LIBS is not capable of measuring these three elements. It also leaves a small scratch, maybe 2 millimeters long and 25 micrometers wide, on a sample surface. It's typically not considered to be a defect, but it certainly leaves a mark on sample surface that needs to be recognized. If it requires some sample preparation, the laser beam can't go through layers of oxidation and coatings or paint. So you need a clean surface to be able to take the measurement. OES, on the other hand, is the highest accuracy tool able to analyze down to the ppm parts per million levels. It provides the ultimate performance on all alloying and trace elements. From performance point of view, it's unbeatable comparing to the LIBS and handheld XRF. It's able to even analyze low carbon, to do so what's so-called L-grade separation, so 300 parts per million carbon in stainless steel, above or below. It's also able to determine duplex steel grades by measuring nitrogen, and it can also measure boron in very low levels in steels. It comes with limitations. Of course, it is big, it is bulky, it is certainly not handheld. So you can see on the right how small the OES device can be, but that basically is one of the smallest devices on the market at the moment. It still weighs 15 to 20 kilograms and also requires, in many analyses, argon gas supply. It leaves a burn mark on a sample, and the calibration, you need to know what you're measuring. So if you're measuring steels, you need to tell the analyzer often that you are measuring steels. The total measurement time is also longer than in XRF and LIBS. But the flip side of the coin is that when you make a proper high quality measurement with OES, that is the highest level of confidence you can get from any technology today. Couple of words about the non-destructive testing. Non-destructive testing, NDT, some applications require 100% non-destructive testing. So you need to be careful which technology you choose, because the fact is that XRF is the only totally non-destructive technology available. LIBS always leaves a small burn mark on a sample surface, and OES also leaves a bigger burn mark on a sample surface. So typically an incoming inspection of raw material can be done with any technology, and there's no NDT requirement, meaning that when you have raw material in your warehouse, it doesn't make any difference if there's a burn mark or not. But some end products can have a very strict NDT requirements, and if there's a strict NDT requirement, only technology you can actually use is then the handheld XRF. So, summarizing, what are your requirements? As I mentioned in the beginning, there is no one-size-fits-all instrument. This means that you can't pick one tool and do all measurements typically needed in the industry. Some devices are faster, some take more time, some can do an identification, some can do ppm level analysis, some are handheld, some are stationary. But all these features cannot be combined in a single housing, not at least today. So first thing to find out is that what is the purpose of the testing? Is it grade verification or full chemical analysis? Which elements are important? Typical critical elements to think about are carbon, nitrogen, boron, phosphorus, sulfur, aluminium, silicon, magnesium, beryllium, and lithium. These are the elements that often differentiate each technology. Some technology can do this. For some technology, some of the elements are completely impossible. So the first step is to understand which elements. Second step is to understand which elements are important. Then in what levels? Are we talking about trace elements or alloying elements? Are we talking about parts per millions or maybe tens of percent? That also makes a difference when you're picking the tools for the purpose. What form and size are the samples? Are they small, large, flat, smooth? Are they uneven? That also plays a part. And where does the analysis need to take place? Is it indoors, nice, clean laboratory environment where you can use basically any device without any issues? Or do you need to take the analyzer outdoors where it could be rainy, dusty, there could be vibration, there could be oily, there could be a lot of unpleasant working environments? And last but not least, are you allowed to have a small burn mark on a sample surface, or do you need 100% non-destructive testing? Couple of words about what Hitachi has to offer for this application. What we have is 3 product lines. Now, XMET 8000 is our handheld X-ray device. This means that it's exciting the samples with X-ray fluorescence and gives you results in a couple of seconds on your screen. It is fast, it is accurate, and it analyzes all common alloys. This includes aluminum alloys, magnesium, stainless steel, low alloy steels, tool steels, nickel, copper, to mention few. It can also measure vast majority of the elements in periodic table, but XMET cannot analyze carbon. Just like any other handheld XRF, carbon is impossible for this technology. And of course, carbon is one of the key alloying elements in steels. So something to keep in mind when picking the analyzer. On the other hand, XMET is 100% totally non-destructive technology. So it can also be used for finished goods. So when you are dealing with when you be manufacturing your components, you can also perform a check of your outgoing material in your outgoing warehouse, and you can still sell the product without any defects. Secondly, we have a Vulcan series. It is our latest laser-induced breakdown spectroscopy, a LIPS device, and that is the fastest tool for alloy metal sorting in the world at the moment. It can do any alloy identification in just 1 second flat. So pull the trigger, 1 second later, you hear a beep, you look at the results on your screen, and it tells you if your piece of steel is 304, 316, 321, is it nickel alloy, is it aluminium, what aluminium grade, and so on. It is really fast. It's ideal for when you have to go through a large inventory when you're performing 100% PMI. You might have hundreds of thousands of samples to measure, so in that kind of application, every second counts. It makes a big difference if you are able to do a measurement in 1 second or 5 seconds. Or if you need to pick the sample up and you can hold it in your hand when you're measuring with a laser. That saves a lot of time comparing to measuring small parts with X-ray when you need to take the radiation protection into account. So the actual measurement productivity of the LIPS versus XRF can be up to 10 times bigger in same amount of time. So in same time you would measure 100 samples with X-ray, you can measure up to 1,000 with laser in some cases. Then last but not least, when you have the highest level of performance requirements, let's say that you want to be, you need to identify trace elements, you need to quantify the key alloying elements very accurately in your alloys, then there's nothing that can actually beat the OES. OES, stationary and mobile, both use the same technology, same kind of arc or spark excitation, and provide really highest level of accuracy when measuring basically anything. There are competing technologies for mobile use, but from looking strictly from performance point of view, for example, LIPS can never compete with mobile OES when it comes to performance. Yes, it's bigger, it is heavier to carry around, but at the end of the day, if you need to be 100% sure if your alloy is 304 or 304L, then there's really no substitute for mobile OES at the moment. In addition to the carbon, mobile OES can measure all the key alloying elements in steels, including also the trace elements and also the tricky elements such as boron and nitrogen in steels. this point, I would like to thank you all for your attention. And if you have any questions, please let us know. And we can also follow up your questions later by email if you have provided us with a valid email address. And please let us know, and we will be more than happy to help you with any questions you have. But on my behalf, I would like to thank you all for attending, and I wish you all a nice weekend. Thank you. Bye-bye.
For winning this facial mask already? Come talk to our exhibitors and give your answers or your clue to our lucky draw system. Because after the last session, we will be having our lucky draw. So anyway, let's welcome the last panelist, our next speaker at session 7, Mr. Devadas Vimalanand. Yeah, if you don't mind, I would like to invite you, everyone, to focus on the last session and ask some questions to our speaker. He will answer those questions in person, face to face, to your answer. Okay, seize the chance. Now let's welcome our next speaker.
Good morning, everyone. Sigmasoft welcomes you to the ASEAN Smart Factory Summit 2020. Thank you very much for taking your time to join this virtual conference. I also would like to take this opportunity to thank the Ringcares team to arrange this kind of facility and platform to share our information. Thank you very much for that. If you need more information about Sigmasoft, please use this QR code to visit our webpage and follow our LinkedIn page. For today, the topic that we have selected for this virtual conference is meeting requirement in lightweight application with a virtual DOE. I hope that this will be very useful and interesting topic for all of you. Let's go further to see how Sigmasoft can help us to meet all the requirement in the virtual lightweight application through this virtual DOE. Before that, I would like to introduce myself as well as our company to you guys. I'm Devadas Vimalanand, working as a senior application engineer for Magma Engineering Asia Pacific Private Limited. I'm responsible for engineering, support, and technical related activities for Asia Pacific region. I completed my bachelor degree in mechanical engineering and my master's in engineering business management. I have been working around 20 years in this plastic manufacturing industry, and our headquarters Sigma Engineering is located in Aachen, Germany, which was founded in 1998. Actually, Sigma is the sister company of Magma, which is the world market and technology leader for casting simulation with over 2,000 customers worldwide. We do have branches all over the world in order to have direct global support and sales. There are more than 250 employees working for us. Out of these, around 60 employees are dedicated for software development, which shows how much importance we put in software development to make it up to date. With that information, I want to cover the agenda for today's topic. We start with the challenges that we face to make the right decision in terms of selecting the materials, optimizing the process, product, followed by the Sigmasoft virtual molding approach introduction. We also go a little bit about design of experiment in Sigmasoft. We end this virtual conference with a case study. Okay, let's go and do that. Okay, we all know that each and every product has their own requirement. It is always possible to achieve all these requirements when we have sufficient resource, such as manpower, money, time, etc. But most of the time, we do not have that sufficient resource. So the only one target for all of us is here to meet the requirement with the minimum resource. How to achieve all the part requirement with the available resource that what we have. As I mentioned earlier, it is possible to achieve all the requirement, but it is not easy. We have to face a lot of challenges to achieve all the target. To explain the situation, I would like to use the dot game. In dot game, the chances of hitting the target from long distance is always lesser than the short distance. The closer we are, the low risk it is. It is same thing for us when we want to make the right decision for us. When we have more information about the process, the product, then it is easy for us to take the right solid decision. But how we get the information for our plastic manufacturing industry? Well, at first, it's our gut feeling give us the basic information about the situation, followed by the experience. Experience always helps. We also learn a lot through theories. But most importantly, we learn a lot through practical trials. We test it, we measure, we understand the behavior, we repair it and test again. We do these practical trial loops until we achieve the requirement. So here we are learning from our mistakes. But how many mistakes that we are affordable? That because practical trials are always very expensive and very time consuming. That's where SigmaSoft comes to help us. SigmaSoft eliminate all the unnecessary time and money that we plan to spend for the initial practical trials. Not only that, it also provides more true information about the situation. I will explain that in detail with a case study later on. Okay, for now, what is SigmaSoft virtual molding approach? In simple way, SigmaSoft virtual molding approach is an inexpensive way of mold trials. I mean virtual mold trials. Okay, how it works? We have the information about the process, the product, the material, and the mold, including the runner system, cooling system, ejection system, slider information. All this information we give into SigmaSoft. SigmaSoft will analyze and provide the result for us. I brought an example from automotive industry, which is a clutch pedal, to show and explain how SigmaSoft can provide us more true information. Like all other parts, this clutch pedal also has their own requirement, such as it needs to be functionally work very well. There are some dimensional requirements. It needs to be durable enough because we are going to apply load on it. And of course, the lighter and cheaper is better. For each and every requirement, we have to find a measurable criteria for the software to decide whether the requirements are fulfilled or not. We call this as the objective in SigmaSoft. For example of the durability requirement, the measurable criteria can be less strain in load direction. Same thing for the dimensional accuracy, the angle and flatness can be the measurable criteria. In SigmaSoft, it also possible to set the low filling pressure and the less cycle time, such as the process related requirements, to set as the objective in SigmaSoft. We know the requirements and we have set our objectives. Now it's time to select the material. Whenever we decide to reduce the product weight in a metal parts through material, the first material comes to our mind is aluminum, because aluminum is lighter than most of the metal. But for today, I want to use a potential plastic material to analyze whether all the requirements can be fulfilled in the plastic material or not. Because nylon is not only a lighter material, it also cheaper. Nylon has the Young modulus of 17,000 megapascal. This 17,000 megapascal is determined by the fiber orientation in the material. So it is important for us to understand the fiber orientation behavior of this material. When the plastic melt flow with a certain velocity, it generates the shear rate. The shear rate at the skin layer is always higher than the shear rate at the core layer. Due to these differences in the shear rate, the fiber are orientated and spin like this. So overall, the fiber orientation takes place like this in the flow direction. It has 17,000 megapascal at the skin layer and only 5,000 megapascal at the core layer. In order to have a guarantee in the mechanical property, we need to have a design in a way the fibers are oriented in the flow direction. It is same thing for the shrinkage. Glass fiber materials behaves anisotropically, which means it has differences in the shrinkage in flow and the cross flow direction. These differences leads to warpage. Warpage definitely not good for the product quality. So to achieve all the requirements such as the mechanical property and dimensional accuracy, we need to understand the fiber orientation and material flow behavior. Fiber orientation and material flow depends on the gating point of the product. So it is our responsibility to find out the best suitable gating point to fulfill all our requirements. For this case, the gating point is located on the top of the product. So we have the Young modulus of 5,000 at the center and 17,000 of megapascal Young modulus at the skin layer here. Same thing for the shrinkage, it has 0.3% in the flow direction and 0.9% in the cross flow direction. So is this gating point is suitable and able to fulfill all our requirements? To answer that, we need to use the DOE option, which is available in the SigmaSoft. Okay, what is DOE? Design of experiment. DOE is an effective tool used to find out the importance of the factors and understand the relationship between the factors and response. When we think the factors are important for the response, then we can set all the factors in the DOE in SigmaSoft and analyze to find out the importance level. We set the variables, then we select the objectives. Then now it is ready for simulation. Once the simulation completed, we can analyze with the results. For this case, the factor insert initial temperature is important for the curing behavior. When we have more than one requirement, then we can use the correlation matrix to find out which factor is important for which requirement. Okay, now let's go to our case study. We have the dimensional requirement. We also have the mechanical property requirement. Even though SigmaSoft is dedicated for plastic injection molding simulation, it is still possible to perform and analyze some of the mechanical property. For this case, we want to know the stiffness of this material. To understand that, we fix a boundary here and apply load to understand the deformation of the part. With the information, we can able to identify the stiffness of this material. We set the requirements, set the objectives. Now we want to set the variables, which means factors. As I mentioned earlier, gating point is important for the fiber orientation and material flow behavior. So I have already selected some of the gating point as is shown here to find out the best gating point to fulfill all the requirements. Together with this gating point, I also selected the material with the different glass fiber content, like nylon with the 15% glass fiber, nylon with the 20% glass fiber, etc. I also select packing pressure as one of the variable because packing pressure is used to compensate the shrinkage and warpage. So with only these three variables, we are able to get more than 80 designs for the simulation. Do you think for these 80 designs, how long it takes to test it in a practical way? Maybe it's need more than a week or even a month to complete all the designs in a practical way to understand and find out the best design from there. Not only that, it also very expensive and time consuming. But in SigmaSoft, it is easy and affordable. It maybe takes less than a day to complete all the 80 designs and find out the best design from there. Okay, how we can do that? We know the requirements. We also know our variables. We just need to set the requirements and variables into SigmaSoft. SigmaSoft will analyze and provide the results for all the 80 designs. Now you have the results, simulation results for more than 80 designs in your hand. Now it's your job to compare all these 80 designs to find out the best from there. But compare the 80 design and find out the best design from there is not easy. It's very time consuming job. How to find the best design from there? But don't worry, SigmaSoft will never ever ask you to compare all the 80 designs to find the best one. In SigmaSoft, we have a feature called automatic ranking system, which shows and provides you the overview of all the designs and the ranks of all the designs. The ranking is selected according to the weightage that you set. The weightage can be changeable at any point of the time, and ranks also change accordingly. For this case, I have selected design 18 and design 21 is the best design to fulfill all the requirements for our application. But you can ask me why you select design 6 and design 9 instead of design 1 and 2. Okay, I will explain that. In SigmaSoft, we have another feature called parallel coordinate plots. In this, we have our variables. We also have our requirements. You're also able to see there are a lot of colorful lines in the plots which represents the individual designs, which means there are more than 80 lines representing the 80 designs. There are also red color arrows on the top and bottom of the plots, which help us to set the requirements. For example, I want to set the strain value at certain level. Same thing for the flatness and goes for the rest of the requirements. Now, there are only 2 designs left in the parallel coordinate plots, which are design 18 and 21. This is how we select the design 18 and 21 are the best design for this requirements. Now it is easy for us to go and compare with the animation videos for all the results to find out the best design to fulfill our application, the requirements. For example, I have a strain result for design 18 and design 21. You can able to see design 18 has less strain compared with the design 21. So personally, I feel design 18 is the best design for this application to fulfill all the requirements. That brings us to the summary of this presentation. Even a simple part like this clutch pedal lead to a problem if the fiber orientation is taken into account. So it increases the risk level when we make the decision for our situation. SigmaSoft virtual molding approach helps us to provide more information and to take the right solid decision. So it is helping us to minimize the risk level. We need to understand that the right decision is always a compromise decision. For example, when we want to reduce the cycle time, somehow it's going to affect the quality of the product. So we need to find a balanced design to compromise both requirements. SigmaSoft DOE option help us to increase the chances of making the right decision. Thus, SigmaSoft help us to meet and make the right decision while eliminating all the unnecessary time and money that we plan to spend for the practical trials. Not only that, it also provides more information through this virtual trial to increase our gut feeling and experience. That's end of our presentation. I believe that this presentation explained how SigmaSoft provides more information in order to achieve the requirement and meet all the requirements in the lightweight application. Before entering into the Q&A sessions, I would like to thank you again for joining this virtual conference. And please use the QR code here to visit our website and follow our LinkedIn page to get more information about SigmaSoft. Now, you can ask me any question about SigmaSoft as well as this presentation in general. Hello.
Hear my voice?
Yes.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Nice to meeting you. And your presentation is very impressive. I always remember there's a dot.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much for
Yeah,
that.
I like that. I like that. And let's answer some of the questions asked in the chat room, okay?
Okay.
Let me publish the question for you.
Yeah, I have published one of the question here.
From Tim, right?
Yeah. Oh,
It's
thanks,
TIM guy.
Tim, for the question. Okay. The question is actually, you mentioned that there are different gate point can be set as a one of the variable in DOE. Do we need to have CAD drawing for all the gating point, or is there any way to create the gate in the software? Okay, that's really a good question actually. Okay, thing is, if you have a CAD drawing for all the gates, then you are able to import into SigmaSoft and you can do the analysis from there. But don't worry, if you don't have the CAD data, it's still possible to create all the gating point in the software, in our software SigmaSoft, and you can able to analyze that. Actually, even though SigmaSoft is not a CAD software, we are providing a lot of tools to create a solid features in the software to create not only gate, actually even the cooling systems, runner systems, even the whole mold you can be able to create that. There are actually predefined gating design as well as the cooling design there. You just need to import, align it with your design actually. Maybe changes the time, changes the length, sizes, etc. to suit your design. That's how it is very simple to get the gating point in the SigmaSoft. Okay, that, I hope that answers your question, Tim. Let's go to the second one.
Sure. Let me publish this for you. It's from Amber again. Amber, so good, huh? Way to go.
Okay. Hi, Amber. Thanks for the question. Okay, what is the accuracy level of the simulation? It's always the question for simulation, but definitely it is more accurate than the normal traditional way of simulation. Because we are providing more information such as the runner system, even the whole mold. We are giving more information to get more reliable, real and true information, true result from the simulation. But in simulation, we always have a phrase. I mean, garbage in, garbage out. I mean, whatever the input you are giving to the software, that's what you are going to get. So your input information needs to be very accurate in order to have a accurate result from the software. I mean, it's the same thing for SigmaSoft, but definitely it is more accurate than the normal traditional way of simulation. Let me see if there is any other question. I think the time also getting late, so I can ask all the questions to our email. To your email address. I will reply to you and
Yes.
get back to you. Thanks. Thank you for that.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Devadas and Vimalanand. And
Yeah.
thank you for your time. Yeah, I know today we're a little bit late, a little bit late for your presentation, but still, I like the presentation, the way you give us the new knowledge and the impression. Anyway, thank you for your time. And thank you for everybody joining our last session of Devadas' presentation. Thank you again. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
So, thank you for everybody is here with me all the day. I'm now having, as I promised, the lucky draw time. So, I would like to invite you all to have a happy lucky draw time with me right now after the treasure hunting a little bit and the clue finding activities. I believe all of us not only had a fulfilling day, but also gained a lot of knowledge. So, I put those names in the who answer the right questions in this box. So let's have our bonus gifts prepared by our organizer. I will pick in total 5 people who win our prize, the Made in Taiwan facial mask, medical one. And this is quite really good quality one. And you know, even in Taiwan, we have to wait so long to get this facial mask, the quality, high quality facial mask for all of us. Luckily, our company, we can prepare some extra one to give away as a prize. And then, since I already put all the names inside it, can you hear the sound? Yes. Oh, there are more of them. Thank you. I will put them in. Okay, so that's everybody. Let me check it. Let me pick up the lucky 5 people who win the prize today. The first is Jamie Tsai Yu J. This one, Tsai Yu J. I look, 我好像网红. Tsai Yu J. That's our first one. And the next winner from today will be Kyla Louis Sempen. Kaya Louis Sempen. And let's see. Okay. Here is how to read it. Read this. Mohammad Isamal Khan. Congratulations, Isamal. You win 1 pack of our facial mask. Thank you for cooperation. And the other one is Sophia Huang. Sophia Huang, I believe, is a Chinese guy, maybe from Malaysia or Singapore. Or China, maybe. And the last but not least, let me do this. This one. Okay. Oh, it's easy. Vicky 10. So these are the 5 people who won our prize today. We will contact you later. We will send the pack in this box. Okay, we will shift this prize for you. So anyway, at the end, once again, welcome. Thank you for everyone to join in. Because of the time issue, we really have to finish our presentations now and all the sessions. But for those questions asked in the chat room, not answered by our speakers today, maybe speakers will contact you by emails to cover. And thank you all our participants who joined us in the special virtual conference with an online lobby and the exhibition hall. Also, we thank our guest speakers for giving us insightful speeches for many aspects of Smart Factory in this event. If you have any further questions, you are always welcome to contact their website or email our speakers today. Also, you can find their information to contact in our main activity website, okay? You can use the networking area to use the filter function, select the speaker tag, and you can leave the message to them. Also, help yourself and feel free to explore more possibilities on our event website. You can meet people, chat with them, share your ideas, or maybe make some new friends. So I would like to invite you to our next event. Actually, this clue is our next event. So feel free, welcome to join our next event. We hope that you can be with us again. Our next topic will be High Performance Machining Summit on September 4th. You can find out more information in this announcement area in the lobby page, or you don't forget to scroll down a little bit in our lobby page, or you can just screenshot this page right now. Okay, so that's our plan for the future event. Thank you all for joining us today. I'm your host, Jack. Have a nice, good day. Thank you. Oh, sorry. My colleague just reminded me, before we end, we already sent you a thank you mail in your mailbox already. And we will also remind you again later. In the thank you mailbox, there's a feedback. There's a thank you all. There's a feedback link. Once you finish the answering the feedback link, we will pick another 3 extra pack of the Facial Max winning prize to you. So don't forget to fill your answers. Email, you don't have to email. Submit your answers as your feedback to us, okay, in the thank you note. Once again, I'm your host, Jack. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye. Welcome to join us again. Bye-bye. And don't forget, come back to our event, main event. Have more networking chance. Yes. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.